points. Check things.
The what?
Record and list it as a talk show in the category.
Alright.
And I'll tweet it. And then I'll retweet it from your account.
I'm tweeting it too.
Hell yeah. Retweet mine also.
Yeah.
Let us know when are we live?
Yeah, we live.
Cool. Give it some seconds to let the people flow in here.
Wait, we've completed 6 achievements already. Hell yeah! Let's see what our achievements are on the podcast channel.
It's my fucking Twitter.
Okay, we've completed We Belong, update your game category and community. Name of the game, update your stream title. Who watches the watchers, reach 3 viewers average in the last 30 days. It's happening, start your first stream. Know your stuff, explore your dashboard. What is the bidding, reach 2 followers. We're actually 60% of the way to reaching an average of 10 viewers in the past 30 days.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I like to hear.
Dude, this podcast could get big as fuck.
Change the title to episode 2 live.
Oh, yeah.
Also, LJ, could you talk real quick? Make sure you're low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Alright, cool. Make sure you're low.
Sound check is
You
completed.
guys are good.
Nice.
Yeah, we all good.
Alright.
I could probably go up like the littlest bit, but I can't turn myself up anymore, so oh well.
I think you're good.
Alright. It looks a little funky, but I think the squares are just, I think it helps with how scuffed it looks.
I agree.
Exactly. Nobody ever said we were professionals.
Preach that and put it on the fridge.
I will.
Hey, we got a Carl, or a Raise Your Carl in chat.
Alright, I'm gonna send it to a few
Nah,
people
you
and
got
then we
3.
can start.
Is every fucking podcast just gonna be the first topics about me?
Maybe.
I think we have to do that.
It's tradition at this point.
True. I got my big fucking jug of water because I'm on a diet. After I just ate an entire large stuffed crust pizza.
Yeah.
Alright, well we got our pizza. Hey Morgan.
Hey, what up, Morgan?
We're talking about games first, so like I don't know if you want to stay, but it's okay. I appreciate you showing up.
I appreciate everybody. All 6 people, even though half of them are us.
Hey, that's okay, dude.
Well, when you tell yourself that, you put yourself down.
Nah, dude, I said I appreciate it.
Alright,
Sure.
you guys ready to start?
Oh yeah.
Oh wait,
Let's go
let me
to-
post the link first real quick.
Boom.
I gotta retweet Rue's announcement now.
Hell yeah, thank you. Give us that viewer.
Alright. So our first topic, boys. Dilly's moved to CSGO? Question mark.
Question mark?
Boy.
Alright, I think it would be best if I give my whole spiel on this and then you guys can add in what you think about it. Okay. So basically, I've been playing League of Legends since early Season 3. A long fucking time. That's years ago. Like, I have watched this game come to its high point, and I've watched it reach its all-time lows. And right now, it just feels like the people who are currently playing the game that aren't in super high elo, and even some that are, just don't care about the game anymore. and don't care about getting better. They don't care about winning. They don't care about making it a non-toxic community. And yeah, you can argue that the community's always been toxic, but I don't think in my years of playing it has ever been as bad as it's been this year. Like, it is terrible this year.
True.
It is awful, and Riot, it feels so much like Riot used to care more about banning these people. And you would think now that there's less players all around, it would be a lot easier. But no, they I get like a ban message maybe once every fucking 50 reports that definitely deserve a ban. But anyway, it just feels like it's impossible to climb when all you get is trolls who don't care about the game. And this is not even fun to play anymore, even if I was just playing for fun. So I looked at other games that I liked, and Overwatch is a dying game. It's not fun. It doesn't feel balanced anymore. Paladins is irrelevant. Smash is a joke. Just so many games just feel like they're not fucking adequate enough. Dota's too fucking complicated for me. So I am moving to CS because, for one, I actually do kind of have fun in CS, even when I'm not like taking it seriously, or when I'm not doing good. I still have fun in the game, which is something that's really important for a streamer, because you have to be able to play a game even when you're not doing good, and have a good time, and be able to keep playing it, and not get tilted because you just find it enjoyable. And CS is a game like that. And on top of that, I have a friend who is really, really good at the game, Dale, to
raises Carl
to teach me about the game and get me good at it, the same way I had Carl for League, and that's a really important thing. So it just feels like CS is my optimal game, and I'm gonna give that a try. Thoughts, guys?
It's a new adventure.
Yeah, it is a new adventure.
That's why I enjoyed starting League at first, because I don't know, it was something because I was like a Call of Duty kid, so the only thing I knew was FPS.
Yeah.
And then learning something completely new, it felt great.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets to that point where you feel like you've learned mostly everything.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to want to keep playing it.
100%.
I just want to be sure you're recording, yeah?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
I mean, from my perspective, it's like, in League, yeah, recently I've only really had a lot of fun if I'm winning. And like, rarely, if ever, am I like far enough ahead to where it's enjoying to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and your point about all of the overall toxicity, it's like, for me, at least this entire season, it feels like everyone's like hypersensitive about climbing and being competitive. And like, if literally I've had one game where somebody just ended up a kill behind and they died, and they wanted to FF.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That's the worst. At least in that's one thing I like about Counter-Strike is like when you get to a point of like decency, like of being good, like if your teammate leaves or like rage, like trolls basically, you can still
Carry the
1v5.
game.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like that in League anymore. Like, a
Yeah,
fed
not
Riven
anymore.
can't carry the game like a feeding Riven can bring the game down.
Yeah,
yeah.
no. It's 100%. You're right. There's
Like, I've been
very
jumping,
very
jumping all over
few
the roles.
very
You talk,
few
I'm being
chance.
dumb.
Huh?
I said you talk, I'm being dumb. I'll talk after you.
I just can't tell which one of us is stopping half time because Skype has a delay. But
I get it. I got you.
it just feels like I don't think there's one champion in the game that can do that unless the enemy makes a fucking game-breaking mistake, like gets all executed by Baron while they have 60-second death timers. Like, that's the only way I can think that you win a game with a DC in Season 8. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that shit feels terrible. And it's the fact that nobody cares about the game anymore. Like, 1 in 5 games now, I get a DC. 1 in 5 ranked games. That is a horrible statistic for already, like, the average being 50-50 win-loss. Like, that's horrible.
For sure.
That's one of the reasons I picked up Tekken today, because, like, at least in like fighting games and other games where it's more player dependent, you're reliant on your skill as a player. You can effectively say, as long as I do my job this match, I will win.
Yeah,
And
and
if
when
he
you
does it
do
better
lose,
than me, then I lose.
when you do lose, you don't feel as bad because you knew that it was like, or you don't feel as angry about it because it's you that fucked up and you can always work on yourself.
Exactly. The only reason I'll ever be like upset that I lost a match is if they're using the like. There's clearly something wrong with the character they're using, but most of the time there's like a gentleman's rule that it's not to be used.
Yeah. That all we got for that topic, boys?
Well, as someone who's been in CS for a little bit, I'm just gonna tell you that I'm gonna tell you a few things. So, I mean, for me at least, one of my favorite part about League was like the teamwork kind of and seeing it come together. Like all the times we played in a team and like we made like a sick ass team fight happen and like good plays happen. That was like my favorite part of it.
100%.
And I can tell you 100% CS, the teamwork that happens in that game, it's absolutely fucking beautiful to watch happen. Sometimes like you'll experience it a few times, and when you watch it, you'll love to see it happen. Also, it'll make you nut.
But, yeah. Even in my limited knowledge of the game, it's just amazing to see, like, even just watching it, like, when you watch the pro level players, like, set up a strategy or something, you're just, at first you don't understand what's going on, and then you suddenly start to realize, oh,
right,
this is pretty cool.
Yeah. You'll see 200 IQ plays. It's pretty impressive. And then also when you start off, you're gonna get some pretty shit teammates because people aren't really starting anymore, but like they're people who kind of
Smurfs and stuff.
Yeah, that too. So
just like League.
But yeah,
be forewarned though, their placement system for what rank you get is infinitely worse than League's because I think it's after two games that make you stop, isn't it?
Yeah, you play two. If you win 2 games, it makes you stop for I think 24 hours before you keep going. But I don't know why they do it. It's to stop Smurfs. It's to urge Smurfs away. But yeah, once you get better, once you learn the game better, matchmaking doesn't matter too much because, well, Counter-Strike and Dota are like 2 of the only platforms that do this. But you don't really play the in-game matchmaking thing. You usually play something called Face It or ESEA, which is like a competitive match service outside of the game. And the servers are better, so that's where all like the pros play usually. And it's got a better ranking system. So once you get better and have a better understanding of the game, that's where most of your time will be spent. But it's just kind of getting through the matchmaking part at first.
Yeah,
can be kind of aggravating at times, but I urge you to kind of push through and just maybe like review demos. I can help you review demos also, and just be like, yeah, you could have done this better here. It might not have won you the game, but like, you know.
That's one of the things that irks me though about CS's ranking system is that it doesn't tell you when you're close to a rank up or a rank loss.
Yeah.
Because you can win a game and do like great or even bad and still win, but you'll get demoted, or you can lose a game. Win a game and do terrible and still get promoted. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely off. That's why ESEA is really, it's a lot more accurate about your rank. It's more of like League kind of. I don't know if I don't play ESEA. I play Face It more, but like.
Well, because you have to pay for ESEA, right?
Yeah, it's better. It's better servers and matchmaking, but Face It's like free, and yeah.
Can't beat free, dude.
Yeah, you cannot beat free. That's all I got for you.
All right.
So, welcome to the CS community, brother.
Hey, thanks, my guy.
I'm thinking about getting back into it too.
Because
I just need more stuff to play.
Ooh, is that a horny sex beaver trio I'm hearing?
Ooh.
Is that a beaver? Is that the noise beavers make?
Heck
I don't
indeed,
know.
boys.
Find out in the next episode.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic. Is Elo hell real? I feel like we can all say something about this one.
Oh, definitely. I got something to say real quick about this one. So, recently, I've been playing League just because it's all I really want to play, but now that I have Tekken, so I'll be learning that game.
I really had
But
sorry.
That's beautiful. That was absolutely the best way you could interrupt somebody.
Exactly.
Fucking roar.
I'm genuinely sorry, dude. Go ahead.
It's fine. No, don't worry about it. It's comedy. It's content. Don't worry about it.
True.
All right. So, in my experience, at least anyway, for the past couple of weeks playing League, I've just no matter how well I do, I just seem to lose.
Right?
And it just goes back to the point of not one single champion can carry the entire game for you, no matter what role you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll do great, but then I'll have a bot lane that goes like 0-10 combined or whatever, or my mid lane will go even, but my bot lane will still be bad, or they'll everybody go even, but the enemy team will be playing champs that like outscale us so hard, so it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely off.
I dropped 2 whole ranks. Sheesh. On the cusp of getting silver 3 10 times in a row,
I feel that one, dude.
and then demoted 2 ranks in a row.
I think largely it goes back to what I said earlier about nobody gives a fuck about the game anymore. Like, I just feel like every 1 in 5 games, and this is just a general statistic, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, most of the time it's more, but, like, every 1 in 5 games, you are going to get a troll or a DC, and it's just going to be an auto loss, because nowadays you cannot win those games with the way the game is set up. Like, it just feels so fucking bad. And I think there are high elo players currently that are saying, like, since about season 7, high elo players are saying that smurfing an account from level 30 and climbing it up has actually, like, you can actually fuck an entire account around the first 10 promos because you can get it hard stuck low elo, and that's even difficult for them to climb out of. Like, I Will Dominate, I think it was, got an account and he fucked up in promos a little bit and got it, like, low bronze. And he got that account hard stuck low bronze and just restarted a new account. Like when a ex-professional player cannot get an account out of bronze, however they can climb an account to challenger from high silver, you know for a fact that there is something wrong in that little area there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When the game is more difficult in the lowest elo, then the game should not be easier the higher you go. That's not how video games should work.
Well, it's just all due to the random stuff that happens in lower elos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was watching one of his videos, Dominate's videos. He said, like, once he gets an account to challenger, he's not excited anymore. He just said, now I can finally stop playing on this account and go to a new one.
I saw that too. Like, T1 got stuck. He got an account stuck in it was silver 2, and then but the MMR was like low bronze.
Oof.
Yeah, so he could not climb the account. He was silver 2 for like 2 full streams, and then eventually just gave up on the account completely. Like, when there are players that are consistent challenger level players that can't get out of silver, bronze elo generally, like, that, you know that there's something fucked in that area, like, and it needs to get worked on.
I think it's like a mental thing, kind of, and that's why it's so hard. I think that's why 8 seasons into the game it hasn't been fixed yet, because it's all about the mentality of the players in bronze. I think most people don't. I think a fair bit of bronze players see it as like, we're in bronze and I don't care, so I'm not gonna try that hard in it. And so, like,
I can feel that.
They just keep going down.
See, the problem is, even the players that do care in bronze are dragged down by those other players, and they are in elo hell. Even the positive ones are there. Like, I was in bronze for my, like, middle 3 years of playing this game. Like, I started off gold my first promos, and then dropped to bronze after, like, 3 weeks, and then fucking stayed bronze until just 2 seasons ago. And, like, that shit felt so horrible because it didn't matter. I don't think I was a significantly better player when I climbed to silver. I just think it was significantly easier to keep silver once I made it to high silver, and I won more because I'm not playing with elo hell bronze players. Like, even if silver players are bad, you know that they at least care enough about the game to not be in elo hell. Like,
right.
And that's what feels really good. And it's where you can actually, like, you can finally define where your skill level is. Like, I am probably a consistent silver 2 player, like, and until I get better, that's where I'm gonna be. But although I'm giving up the game, but, like,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that one, really.
I'm gonna tie it in with a little bit with esports here, and it's like, over in Korea, that's why they're the best teams in Korea, because their environments for solo queue and flex queue are all so much more competitive. They've got the mentality of, oh, I'm in bronze, I'll just climb out of it, it's easy.
True.
Whereas over here in the West, it's like, oh, I'm in bronze. I'll just wait till next season,
Yeah.
so that way I
Oh,
can do my promos again, or I'll just play in bronze because it doesn't matter because I'm in bronze or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. There's some games where the law, like I feel like there should be kind of a system in play that's like, if you lose when one of your teammates are below a certain like death ratio, it shouldn't count. Because when people like, or if they leave, like if you leave, you should. If someone leaves, you shouldn't get too many points deducted, I guess. But like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
when you're playing a game and like your teammate leaves or your teammate like straight int feeds and you lose because of it, and like you get full points deducted, it's like you can't help but get tilted, kind of.
Yeah.
Even if you're like mentally like solid, you are still gonna get tilted over something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that's my first game of the day and it ends up like that, I just have to take a break at that point. I literally can't play another game after that, or I'll
yes.
lose.
Right. Pretty annoying. Also,
100%.
I mean, I haven't paid too close attention this season, but I know that most of the pros were playing like have been playing like tank jungles in the pro. Like I don't get how they some God damn it, I can't talk. I'm sorry.
You're good.
That some champs can be like so good, but then you put them in like low elo, and they're so like bad, kind of.
It's because in high elo, like the junglers are good for a different reason. They're good because they play off of teams that know how to play with them. And low elo is about like you literally just have to solo carry every game if you want to climb, and you can't do that anymore. And I think that's where the game's problem is right now.
It's transitioning more into from snowballing yourself into you have to snowball literally everybody on your team or you lose.
Which is a really Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, when a lot of the games we've played where it's like the assholes blame like fucking jungle being useless. Like I think that's such a bad stereotype, and it's like people don't think about it from the jungler's perspective half the time. They're just like, oh, you didn't come to my lane and help me get a kill. You're shit jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, to think you were out here being Oprah Winfrey, giving out free kills to everybody, chicken under their chairs and all that. No, we can't do that. Since they changed catch-up XP, we've got to be in our jungle farming more than we used to.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think the game is... I think that... The way that champions are set up right now is that you have to play a team game to win, right? But at the same time, the way League as a game is set up in low elo with mentalities and shit, you almost have to be able to solo carry if you want to get out of low elo. The problem with that is that those two don't mix and match very well. You got the game requiring you to be a good team, not a good player, to win the game. And then you have, like, the elo itself requiring you to be the perfect player and your team not mattering. It's just like, I think that those two things combined are what is creating elo hell. You know what I mean? Like, those things not meshing well.
Yeah, I feel like if you took like a perfectly coordinated team and put them into flex queue, it would be a much different result.
It was when we all played together.
Oh yeah, we were like it was still kind of bronze, but like the games were close.
No, we were against like gold.
It's all that communication, dude.
In there.
That's what
when you got actual communication among teammates, it's amazing. It makes the game so much better for every individual.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thing that sucks. There is like they're trying to do that by adding the voice chat, but like
that's
I feel like
only
all
two people.
I'm just excited for when they Clash game mode.
That
you get it's almost like a team builder used to be. I think.
Yeah, it is. I think it's got like actually like rank placings there, and like you can climb up and
like no matter what your rank is, you can
a
just assemble the team.
Yeah.
And you get rewards and stuff for it, which is really cool.
The thing I'm not excited for with the voice chat when it comes to like, because they're not just adding it for your duo, because 100% of people, if they're duoing, they're probably on Skype or Discord already. They're adding it for solo queue so that you can talk to all four of your random teammates. But I feel like all the memes that come from Dota are gonna become League, where it's like you got a fucking Russian on your team that doesn't speak English, and then if one of them's brain dead, and then the other The other is just like toxic for no reason.
Or just nobody talks anyway because nobody cares.
Like,
yeah, or no mic.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think League could be fixed very easily if they did things like Overwatch in terms of queuing. Now, hear me out here. I think Overwatch has the right fucking idea, where you can queue as a 6-man queue in ranked. Because, like, look, if you know, okay, in Overwatch, right, you won't end up going up against other 6-mans if you're not in a 6-man. Like, if you're a solo player, you'll only go against other solo players, maybe a duo here and there. And if you're in, like, a 4-man, a 5-man, or a 6-man, that's when you're going to face other 4-mans, 5-mans, and 6-mans. They have the queue set up like that. And you can't give me the whole, like, oh, well, there's just there's just more players there, so that's easy because queue times won't be as low. There is, like, a quarter as many Overwatch players as there are League players. Like,
For sure.
a quarter of it. There is no way that it would be the queue timers.
It's also split though, because Overwatch is on console also, so it's split between 3 platforms. League is just one.
Yeah, but like it's not cross-platform, so that wouldn't even matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
That's what makes it even better is that it's so popular and you can still get quick matches in, even though it's split between 3 different platforms that can't play with each other.
I just think League could do the exact same thing Overwatch is doing with queuing, and they would do it 10 times better, and it would be great. Like, I guess
the argument could be made that that's what flex queue and solo queue are, but it's.
But we want to play ranked.
Yeah, let's be real here. Flex Q's a joke.
That's what I was leading into.
It was either last season or the season before that. The top 5 people in Challenger, like the top 5 ranked players in Flex Q, were all on the same team. They just they just fucked everybody, and were in the top 5 for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the same. It's just that's what's gonna happen pretty much.
It's almost like they're the top 5 best Flex Q players.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
It's also, I mean, they get 5 mans, and then Flex Q you can be solo or like 5, like so those 5 could have played against 5 randoms.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing though. Overwatch has it set up to where you only face other 5 or 6 mans if you're in a 5 or 6 man, and if you're a solo, here and there you might face a duo, but it's very rare. Most of the time you're just up against other solos. Like, they have it set up like that. Like, they know what to match you with. And on top of that, fucking, okay, people can say what they want about autofill being worth it for the lower queue times. Fuck no, dude. I would so much rather wait 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to get into a game and get my fucking role than have to play a role I don't fucking play, that I don't
Especially if people dodge. Especially if people dodge, because I'll have like 3 matches in a row. I get in, dodge, get in, dodge, get in, dodge, get in, autofill.
That is another thing.
That's the worst.
That is another thing. Not just that, but on top of the queue times being lower because of having autofill, the queue times most of the time end up getting longer because every time someone gets autofilled to support, you know that person's going to dodge and everyone's going to be waiting that much longer. Like, it's...
Yeah. I try not to dodge it if I get support, mainly because I've got some good dedicated supports that I can play. But there are times where I do just dodge because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, most people will dodge. I mean, we all experience it, like dodge after dodge after dodge because people get support until there's finally that one guy who's like, fuck it, I'll just play support. Like,
yeah.
Not because 90% of the supports in League are autofill. No one plays that role.
I mean, you remember when the role selector wasn't even a thing and we had to call our roles?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucked so much.
It was kind of decent, but at least there was like
I feel like people were more civil with you,
man.
and like treating you like, I want this role, okay, but I want this role too. Like you like talked it out instead of saying I claim my role in the queue, so you can't have it.
Nah, boys, no. That was in regular pick though. I'm talking old ranked though, when they like it was in order of picking, so you weren't just calling it, just like. If the first guy was picking, he would just say, I'm taking jungle, and he'd pick a jungler. And then the next guy. I genuinely thought that was better. I was okay with that. Because, okay.
It was fair.
Yeah, hear me out on this. Like, you there was maybe like a okay, so we all know the last guy was almost always a support, right?
Oh yeah, either Phil or just support.
Yeah, it was almost always that last guy.
It's happened to me more than once.
And if not, then it's even better because then you got a better chance of getting what you want. But maybe 1 in 5 games you don't get to play a role that you're okay with playing. Maybe 1 in 5 games. That's a pretty okay statistic rather than every other game I'm going to get autofilled to support. I would much rather have that back, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I think this season I've gotten autofilled more to like mid lane and jungle than to support. I've still gotten autofilled to support, but so far it's been less. It's frequently been less support. But mainly it's because I haven't been really playing for extended periods of time until maybe about last month.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I feel like there are definitely more people to play support because support can be pretty fun if you play the right champions. But
yeah, well, it's just that it's hard to carry from.
Oh yeah, that's why I play Brand.
True.
That's kind of the thing. There's two people for like support. Is like the ones who genuinely try to support and then like get flamed if they do something slightly wrong, and they're like afraid because I mean like no one wants to get put down when they're playing. And then there's the other person who wants to be the carry but gets forced to support, kind of.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it's like not everyone can be the star.
That's why I don't play supports anymore because I know if I'm playing Raka, the ADC will expect me to heal every single time they're low. They'd be like, "Where are my heals? Where are my heals? I'm missing 1 HP. Heal me."
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think that's a good transition.
Yeah, that's all I got there.
I'm out for it.
All right, number 3, game devs being in touch with their games and communities. Okay, so
I got 3 different devs to talk about.
Go for it, buddy.
All right. Ooh, I'm sitting up in my chair for this one.
Oh boy, he's got his list ready.
I do. So, well, Riot, we kind of just touched on Riot a lot. This is kind of a little thing. It's like, I feel like for the most part nowadays, is they buff things mostly for LCS, and it's like that's fine.
It's the moneymaker, dude.
But when I don't know what the actual stat is, but when a large majority of your players are in low elo, and they complain about Teemo being like broken, and then they buff it again, it makes people angry, and then it can cause some people to like kind of quit the game.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Have less faith in it. Like, do you think that's being out of touch, or do you think that's just like they care more about the pro scene than casual?
I think
that's not witnessing a problem. Because I think in their minds, Teemo is fair and balanced because they've seen people counter it plenty of times, but they're not thinking of low elo. But they can't just rush out a patch for low elo players because it'll affect everyone. So they're kind of stuck in this position where if they can buff Teemo for high elo or they can nerf him for low elo, but they can't do both.
Right.
Okay.
Which is typically the point where they'd rework him, but he's not very high on the list. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think that.
Okay, sorry. I can't tell when like I'm good or not. Just
yeah, I know, right?
yeah. Am I good or you want to go?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good, sir.
So I think one of the biggest things is that's a touchy subject because they can very easily just go with the large majority, but the pro players and the high elo players are the ones that know the best about the game. So like if they are basing the way the game is played, I just realized how much I sound like Skara for a second there. It kind of freaked me out for a second. Sorry.
I am Mexican Skara.
If they are basing the game around the way that that low elo players are playing and what they want buffed and what they want nerfed and shit, then low elo players are not going to get better. The all around community and league is going to get worse. The skill level is going to get worse because low elo players are going to climb on broken shit that they're going to get the high elo with and then just complain about something else because then they're just facing better players and then they're just going to be shit and drop when that gets nerfed and it's just going to be like it's going to be a fucking roller coaster if they base shit off the low elo. But at the same time, not basing shit off the low elo has already sort of killed their game, like because low elo players are the large community and so many of them are quitting because they're stuck because they don't know how to play the game around around talent-based shit. They more know how to play it off of, oh shit, what's really broken in low elo.
Yeah.
and they know how to
Pretty much.
complain about shit that's broken and low elo because they don't know how to play against it.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to learn it too.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, the one thing I could say is right being out of touch was when they made some sort of announcement about the new MF skin, about how it's not up to standards.
Mm-hmm.
But they released it anyway. Instead of reworking anything, they just gave it a little particle touch up.
Yeah.
Without addressing all the problems that people didn't think it was a legacy skin. It didn't feel like
It's definitely
a
lacking.
legendary skin. It's got all the parts there, but it just doesn't feel like it. That kind of stuff. I think that's one really big thing, at least this year, of them being out of touch. But other than that, I can't really think of anything that's not balance related.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when they were, I think it was the last time SKT won Worlds. I think that someone asked for, I don't remember exactly, but I'm just gonna use an example. It was like Bang asked for, like Sivir as his skin, but he got Ashe or something, and then they're like, or they made a post about it like, yeah, we shouldn't have, or we should have done what he asked for instead. That's kind of weird to be out, like, you're not even giving the world champ what he wants.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for League. But next up on the list is Valve.
Oh.
So,
Oh, you about
I mean,
to talk about Half-Life 3?
nah, Counter-Strike, bro.
Oh,
I don't know
gotcha.
shit
Okay.
about Half-Life. But so, I mean, I think at this point, anyone who's like heavily involved in CS kind of knows that Valve are out of touch. But I guess I'll get your guys' opinions because you aren't as involved yet.
I haven't seen what they've done with the game in like a month.
Bro. Alright, well, they released a new patch yesterday, but I'll get to that at the end, I guess.
All
So
right.
basically, recently after the last major, like all the scene they've been asking for a new map because if you guys don't know how it works, LJ, you probably do, but
Just a little bit.
the competitive scene, there are 7 maps in the pool.
Yeah.
About once a year, they take out one and rework it, and they add in another map that they took out. So the last time of this happening was Dust 2 got taken out and replaced by Inferno, which they recently reworked.
That's as far
So-
as I remember.
Yeah, I mean that's happened.
And then they redid Dust 2. I don't think they put Dust back in, did they?
No, they haven't yet.
They just
But-
redid it.
That's where I'm getting to. So we've been asking for a replacement map, a new map, take out some map of the current 7 we have now because it's getting boring as shit. Because it's been the same 7 maps since last year, early last year, maybe late the year before that. And so we've been asking for that, and they've yet to give us a new Dust. Dust is raty, kind of. I mean, it could use some changes. It's pretty much old Dust, just different different colors and stuff. But like, that's arguably better than what Cobblestone is right now.
Yeah.
It's every pro has their own argument of what map needs to go and what needs to come in.
Last I played Cobblestone, it was so confusing. I didn't even remember what callouts were.
It's just that, I mean, it's not a good casual map for one, but like even the pro
There's so
scene,
much to it.
that too, like they need to that map needs reworked because it's too bad. It's been played too much competitively. It's not fun to watch anymore, and I've heard from every single pro it's not fun to play.
Because you know all the strats at this point. It's like, oh, they're going for this
It's
strat
really-
on Cobblestone. We'll just do this strat to counter it. There you go.
The thing is with Cobble is that the way you can think about it is think about the outer edge of a square, and it's cut in half. So T's on top, CT's on bottom.
Yep.
That's essentially the map. There's one strat you can throw, like you can execute a fake, or you can make a fake execute on one site, and then there's 2 spots you watch. Like, you watch the site if they're faking it, or you watch the site that they are throwing the smokes and shit onto. There's nothing more to do. It's like there's like maximum 5 strategies you can do, and there's only about 2 plays you can make with all of them. And all of them are easily counterable by the CT side.
And that really limits creativity and limit potential.
Right. That's just one thing, boys. That's just one thing. Next. So the CZ75 pistol, it's a full auto pistol, and it's broken to shit right now. It's incredibly broken. So like the way pistols, especially a full auto pistol, should be mostly effective close range. But this shit is so good that you can use it like you can use it at long range and still win a gunfight versus like an AK. Like the
Okay, yeah, no, that's not right.
oh yeah, the way the force buys work right now. So in any good version of Counter-Strike, any good time we had in CS:GO, was that whoever wins pistol round should win the next 2 rounds unless they make a grave mistake. But now it's whoever wins pistol round can still lose the second round very easily if the team who lost chooses to buy to like force buy. Like all you need is a $500 pistol. That's what's insane. The AK is $270 or $2,700, and then the CZ is $500, and then the P250 is $300, and like they have like the same capabilities essentially in like second round, which is absurd because it's a pistol.
Yeah.
Next. Alright. Okay, well, I don't care. Basically, the headshot animation is a little messed up. Like, for a gun like the M4, if you shoot them in the head, it's not a one-shot kill if they have head armor, it's not. So when you hit them in the head, their head like dinks to the side, kinda. So, and their hitbox moves to the side. So like you have your crosshair placed on their head. You shoot them once, and it ducks to the side. You shoot again, and because their head ducks to the side, you miss the second shot, and then they can like turn and kill you. So that's an animation that people have been complaining about for about 2 years now, and they have not even like said anything about it. Now, those are just some of the issues. There's a recent update yesterday that they changed something with like sharing skins and stuff to kind of cut down on gambling, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a 7-day wait period before you can trade.
Yeah, and the community is really mad about that, but I'm not even gonna get into that.
There's a lot of money there. Let's just drop it.
Lot. I mean, Skadoodles. There was I don't think I've told you guys about this, but so after Cloud9 won the major, the Dragon Lore, which is the most expensive skin in Counter-Strike, it's unlocked from Cobblestone crate drops, and someone opened one. It had a Cloud9 sticker on it. It had a Skadoodle autograph sticker on it, and it had something else on it. I think it was a face sticker, maybe. And it sold for $60,000.
Jeez.
Yes. Yeah. That's how much money is in the CS skin market. But with all these issues, they have not changed any of these. But you know what they did do? They buffed the Negev, which LJ, that's a shit tier LMG. It's a bad LMG that doesn't need buffed because
for a reason.
No one wants to use it. No one buys it for a reason because it's bad. Like the meta, they decreased the price to 1,700, which is equal. It's equal to the Scout and the MP7 now.
You could force buy that.
But that's the point. Is it's still so dog shit that no one's gonna. It's still so bad, bro.
There's like a lot of setup you needed to get the Negev to work. You'd have to know exactly when the enemy team was coming, so you could prime your shots, so that way
even then, like,
you get the laser beam.
If they have ears, then they're just gonna not peek that corner.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't have a place in the competitive scene. The meta we have now is fine, and I don't know what.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees the meta we have now is like fine and doesn't need tampered with, but for some reason they feel the need to like change it, I guess, and that's why I think, and everyone thinks, they're incredibly out of touch with their community.
I mean, I guess you can make the argument they want to have people make more creative plays and not just buy the same weapons over and over again. But
yeah, I mean, even now, I don't
think the Negev is the way to go with it.
Bro, this is the most like insane the game's ever been when it comes to like weapon popularity. Like people are buying shotguns on Nuke. Chris J.
I'm gonna love getting back into this game, man.
Like Chris J's buying MP7 instead of an M4 on Train sometimes, and he's top fragging on his team. Like
that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, like every gun is being used essentially, other than LMGs, and like those guns are so casual.
I feel like it's mainly just map choice. I feel like the LMG is only really good if you've got like a wide open area you can spray all your bullets across.
Yeah, pretty much. And none of those maps are in pro play.
You guys are just making me want to play CS right now.
Oh, we're playing after this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you know we are. I'm gonna see if it's updated right now.
Mine's done.
And then I got
like the update.
I'm about to just play CS during the podcast.
I got one last thing. Call of Duty.
Oh boy, I heard you talking about this one last week.
So, well, basically, I think Treyarch are pretty good. I think they kind of know what to do with their game. They understand that they have 3 different communities. Communities in the game. They got the competitive, the snipers, and the casual. And they make the game good for all of them, which is nice. But Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, they suck shit.
They used to be really good. Like Modern Warfare was like top tier. If you asked anybody back in the day, they would say Modern Warfare is my favorite. Now it's like Black Ops is my favorite. Black Ops 2 is my favorite.
Right.
And for good reason. They're pretty quality.
Exactly. Now, I think the main point I want to get across is just that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered won't have multiplayer.
It's interesting. I really think the reason they did it was because when they released Modern Warfare 1 Remastered, the race, I'm sure you know them, Dale. They wanted to do it on Modern Warfare Remastered. But Infinity Ward said, no, we want you to do it on Infinite Warfare. I think it was. I don't even remember. It was that bad. They said, no, we're doing it on Modern Warfare. So they did it on Modern Warfare, but they didn't do it with the partnership of Infinity Ward.
Mm-hmm.
So Infinity Ward had some other group do it.
I just don't know. I don't know that.
And so it's probably one of the reasons, because they want...
That's not a good reason.
Well, yeah. But I mean, they made us think about it, so...
I mean, it's because they just want to promote their new game. They've done that the last 3-ish years, whatever. But essentially everyone who talks about Call of Duty and its legacy and the best games,
Modern Warfare 2 is on that list.
90% say Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2 are the best. And the fact that, and it's not, they don't say dude, Modern Warfare 2 is my favorite game because of the campaign, bro. No, it's because
the campaign's really good, though.
It is good, but I mean, even then, one of the main missions isn't even probably going to be in.
Yeah, which is a shame.
It is. But yeah, I mean, I was watching World War II today, the pro games or whatever. It was in COD World League Birmingham or something, and the dude was holding an STG 45 or whatever it's called, and the casting thing that tells you what gun he's holding tells me he's holding a PPSH. Oh, how can your game be that bad? It can't even tell me what gun he's holding.
Yeah, for real.
That's absurd, dude. But one thing I was thinking of was COD might be the only game that needs to do this, but they need to split the game into 2 groups, one of competitive and one of casual, because they just don't work together. Because the casual people are the ones who complain about a gun not being not being good in regular game, and then I guess Call of Duty, because of their roots, they care more about the casuals, so they buff the gun and it becomes OP in competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happening.
I can see how that could work, but it's it'd be really
hard.
It'd be hard. It would be hard. But if they could pull it off, that props to them.
I mean, I don't know
pull that off.
Pull it off, but it's
They
just
essentially have to just make 2 separate versions of the game.
Yeah.
Can you guys still hear me good right now?
Yeah, you're fine.
Cool. Alright. Okay. Holy shit.
Bless you.
Thank you. So I actually want to talk about Overwatch for 2 seconds on this topic.
I was hoping to have some input from someone named AIDAN and about a game called Smash Brothers, but yeah, something happened to that guy. I don't know.
Isn't that a good game though?
No, dog shit.
All right. So
well, actually, we don't really know because he isn't here to defend it and tell us why it's good or bad.
True.
I mean, the last Smash Brothers game I played was Brawl, so.
And he never can defend it. He just always says, "No, you're wrong."
Smash Brothers is a real fighting game. Prove me wrong. Watch him get all mad in the chat right now. This way, I guarantee you he's tapping up a storm.
But I literally have something very short and sweet to say about Overwatch. Nerf Junkrat. Buff McCree.
He's not even here anymore. Gosh darn it.
Buff Widow. Nerf Hanzo.
Gotta get them dirty Hanzo mains out of here.
These are all things that people have been saying. Everything I'm saying right now are all things that people have been saying since for probably the last 2 years of Overwatch, and this is like a large majority of the community. What did we get? We got Mercy changes, and we got Pharah changes. I think I haven't been in the game for a while, but I think all they did was change Mercy and Pharah got very minimal changes. Oh, they gave Junkrat a little buff when he's the one people have been asking for nerfs.
Oh yeah, saw you playing him last night. It was spicy.
That shit was disgusting, dude. All I did was I sat in my fucking base shooting
Slop grenades out of the space.
Just slopping fucking spam grenades and throwing fucking bombs onto the point
that way.
I just kill the entire fucking team by doing that. There is nothing they can do because I'm so far out of the safe zone, and I don't know. And Widowmaker, holy shit, she feels so bad right now because her grapple's so short that it doesn't feel like she has a consistent escape. Her health pool's so low, even for a sniper, it's so low. You get one tapped by anything. And her headshot, I think they just need to make it a non-charge up headshot. Allow Widow to quick scope, and I think we're good. I think that will make Widow a solid played hero. But Blizzard does not give a fuck about Overwatch. Anyway, that's all I got.
That's one thing with gaming people have, or the developers of games that's been bugging me is when a majority of your community thinks something. I mean, the game creator has an idea for what they want, because you guys remember back when they first changed runes and they became the Keystone. I think that's what it was called at the time. But when Thunderlords was first out. And everyone took it, and everyone was "Oh, it's so broken,
it was busted."
And then everyone's like, "Dude, Thunderlords needs a nerf. What are they doing?" And then they came out and said, "We're hearing what you're saying, but we're not gonna nerf Thunderlords because that's where we want the rest of the runes to be. That's the level we want it to be at. So instead of nerfing that, they buffed everything else. They had a plan around it, and I appreciate that. But I appreciate that they were kind of." They told us, They didn't just keep us in quiet. But that's what every other developer does. Is they keep it silent.
Because there's not a lot of them that care about their communities that much. They're just in it for the money.
Call of Duty.
EA.
Valve. Sometimes. Even though they're kind of killing their game now with the changes.
They probably don't even need to make games anymore because they make so much money off of Steam.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And they're even running the indie scene on Steam and other ground, so it's
Yeah,
they're rich.
They could actually just retire and not have to do anything for the rest of their lives.
Gaben. One thing, I gotta go off on a little tangent here as a Counter-Strike fanboy. I'm a little tilted that Valve is so not dishonest. I can't think of the word, but
disconnected,
disrespectful, and disconnected from the CS. That is mostly disrespectful though. It's we're an esport too. We usually get a lot of view, even a smaller event. We get a huge amount of views for. I don't understand how they like Dota 2 so much more than Counter-Strike that they're gonna give Dota $20 million events, and the most we get in Counter-Strike is $1 million.
I think it's because they're still trying to compete with League in terms of Dota, whereas with Counter-Strike, what's their only competition? Call of Duty. They've already crushed that.
True.
Yeah, but we should. I mean, They should still support the game and not let it.
100%.
We should.
For sure.
We shouldn't be coasting right now. We should be going up.
Yeah.
And like
Like
we're
I
just
can't
coasting.
tell you the last time I saw a promotion for like a CS major outside of the game.
It's because, and I'm not saying that like your point's wrong on this, Dale. I'm saying that like the reason they do that is because the only reason games get more popular or like get more budgeting is the same reason like stores will do that. Like they have competition and they have to up their game. CS
Capitalism at work.
Sure.
CS has nothing against it right now. Like COD is like
Maybe
its
Rainbow
only,
Six Siege, but like
it's-
Siege is like in a completely different spectrum.
Siege is not even in a like no, it's not even in the same realm as CS. Like COD isn't even more anyway. CS has just stomped everything else out of the water. That's
CS
like
is just
its equivalent. It's just the problem is that CS didn't have very difficult competition to beat in the first place. So like,
I mean, Counter-Strike. The only I'm not like a historian on this, but like, to my knowledge, the only competition Counter-Strike has ever had was Quake, back in like the early 2000s, late 90s.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even then, they aren't even the same type of shooter. Quake's an arena shooter. It's like fast paced. Like
Yeah,
Counter Strike is more you gotta sit with your team and you gotta check your corners really
more
quick.
teamwork.
Quake is just like deathmatch
Fun
free for all. Everybody do what you want to do, kill the other people, and you win.
Yeah,
And Dota and League have been one-upping each other consistently since League came out.
the only
Since Dota was even a mod for Warcraft. Even.
Yeah.
the only thing that Dota has over League is its prize pool, and it's
Yeah.
I mean their events are absolutely insane, but like, and they're more hype than League. It's just like, I don't know. My opinion is Dota's harder to watch and to learn. League's easier for like a casual person to watch, but it's still hard to like understand. Like Nade Shot with 100 Thieves when he went to watch his team first play, he's like, he said something like, I have no clue what's happening, but this is awesome.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
League is just so fun to watch, like in and of itself, because it's all the bright colors, all the interesting character designs. Where you could say Dota kind of has that too, but it's
just darker.
yeah, it's more washed out and it's a more nuanced gameplay as opposed to League, where it's like, oh, they're not doing anything right now. Oh wait, there's a team fight happened in like 3 seconds. What?
Bless you.
And then it's like you can think one team is winning a team fight, but it's actually the other team, even though the health bars don't seem like it's leaning towards anyone's favor. And then just the end of the fight, and one team is completely decimated.
Yeah, just like even just the objective that they
So it's
win
fact-
off of a team fight.
I think there's just more like room for flashy play and outplay potential in League as opposed to Dota,
Yeah,
because
for
of
sure.
like all the champions with high mobility. It's like how many champions in Dota have like a 3-second dash they can spam in a row, like 10 times in a row?
Yeah.
Not many to my knowledge.
Hey, LJ, a little bit off topic. When's your birthday again?
April 20th.
420.
Elmo.
Hell
It's on
yeah.
a Friday.
Wait, that's next month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 2-3 weeks.
Are the boys still hanging out for that?
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. All right. Sorry, guys, that was off topic, but I just popped in my head.
Oh, gee.
Do we got anything else about this, or are we moving to 4?
I'm good for 4, boys.
I'm good for 4. I was gonna talk about something else, but I think we've been on this one a little bit too long as it is.
All right. With all that being said, let's move on to number 4: video game violence.
This
I
is
feel
what I'm hyped for.
I feel like we'll all be in the same boat in this one.
I got some opinions to say. I was thinking about this all day at work one day.
Go for it, buddy.
Well, now from my understanding,
Wait. Sorry. Before you start, can we add Nathan to the call for the last 2 topics?
I'm cool with it. Go for it, dude.
Because he just got on.
I'm down.
Put the boy in.
Your
The more the
Skype showing up
merrier.
on screen, by the way.
Cause discussion's always fun. Oh god. It's broken, oh god.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's broken again.
Hey, that's okay. LJ can share with you too. That's okay with me, dude.
Half dog, half LJ.
Yeah.
forgot it did that.
Wait, no, I'm sharing with Nathan too.
Yeah, you're sharing with both of them.
Let's go.
This is fine.
He's typing.
It's beautiful.
I'm in call, but I need to get my headset real quick. All right, go for it. We're already mid-podcast, but we wanted to throw you in for the last, like, half. Because these two topics are shit I think you could input onto.
Yes.
I'm definitely interested to hear Nathan's input on these two.
Yeah.
Definitely ready for my input. This overlay looks...
It's super scuffed, but I love
So-
it.
It's scuffed, but
That's why
perfect.
that's why it's good.
Yeah. By the way, Nathan, here's a link to the channel that we're
Give us
streaming
more
to.
views.
I wish bits would enable on this channel so I could give bits here too.
You should go give bits to mine when I'm live.
But you're not streaming right now.
Just
and
get your bits.
I exhausted all my bits for the day.
Just save up your bits, boys, because your boy's doing a long ass stream on Monday when I come back from my break.
All right.
Hey.
So we're all renewing with a good, like, one of the real subs, not a Twitch Prime, right? Okay,
Yeah.
my boys giving me that revenue. That's what I like.
do. This is how you make a community.
True.
Get your friends to promote it shamelessly.
This...
All right, this is our little intermission, guys, while we're waiting on Maynard, and then we will get on to the final two topics, which I think are going to be a little longer because we got a fourth for them, and also there's shit that's not just video games, so we can actually go pretty, like, really in depth with these.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, boys.
All right.
All right, you do that, my dude.
I'm actually kind of excited to talk about number 5.
For real, dude. My grandma used to have these books about like supernatural stuff, and it was really cool to read.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got them around here somewhere, but I don't know.
Maynard was actually, or I think he might still be on a ghost hunting team, so
that's cool.
He would have some really good input on this too.
I am.
Oh, hey, he's here.
There it is.
Just got real quiet all of a sudden.
Can you hear us?
We'll talk about the ghosts more when we get to topic number 5.
Had my cock in my hand before I even reached the bathroom door.
Nate, can you hear us?
Yep.
All right.
Hey, what up, Bertie?
That link in the
Long
chat.
time no see, Nathan.
That link in the chat that I posted is the where we're doing the stream at.
Alright.
Are we ready to rock, Squidwards?
I'm ready. All right. Topic number 4: video game violence. All right. So I don't know what our exact what our exact goal with this one was. Like, are we talking about
Just to
like
talk.
just to talk in general? All right. Well, you had some shit to say,
Basically.
Dale, so you can go first. Start us
All right,
off
well-
with this.
Now, I'm not 100% certain about this, like, title, but it was a title of some article from somewhere. And it was, quote unquote, video games are 90 times more violent than actual war, end quote. now,
Oh, I saw a Jim Sterling video on that article.
yep. And, I mean, my personal, like, idea for that is fucking retarded. But,
Yeah,
like,
especially after we just watched that movie about Vietnam. There's no way.
exactly. That's the whole. I was thinking about that the whole time. Like, how is Counter-Strike more violent than this?
It was by Rolling Stone.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. But like what I thought is like, video games in like no way are a sole cause of like violence
No.
in
Yeah,
people.
for real.
I think it's all like in your head. Like if someone in our English class, LJ, I don't remember who, but he said like, if you give me a gun and put me in front of like hundreds of people, I'm not gonna like shoot them. But if you give one to someone who's like messed up in the head, they would. But it's like video games aren't gonna change your like brain.
Cognition.
That word. It's like for me, I can play Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or whatever and shoot people in it for like for hours on end, but it doesn't make me want to go outside and like shoot people.
Right.
I think
That's
the
what-
first person shooter I played was Left 4 Dead 2, and that was like 13.
This past week, I've been streaming Rust every day for 15 hours a day. And I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to walk outside, build a base, and roof camp people from it with a fucking bolt-action rifle. Like, I have no urge to go on a fucking killing spree with an AK-47. I have zero urge to go outside and even interact with people in a negative or positive way.
Exactly.
Like, if anything, this is
That's
making
me.
me more of a fucking antisocial creep.
One second. You can keep talking. I'm just muting myself real quick.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
And
Oh, go ahead.
sorry,
Maynard.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
To me, that is like the number one way I get my aggression out. So if I'm really pissed
Yeah.
off, I will play video games, and I won't be so pissed off afterwards because I'm having fun and I'm feeling like, there's that rewards kind of system that comes with video games where every little thing you do stimulates your brain in a good way. And yeah, you're doing violent things, you're shooting people in Counter-Strike or stuff like that, but you're still getting a positive. I lost where I'm going with this, but I'm not.
I know what you're saying.
I get
Yeah,
my
I get
aggression
you.
out in video games, and I'm less angry afterwards. And I'm not going to take my aggression out on an actual person.
Exactly.
I
Let
might
me-
get a little
let me-
pumped, but I'm not.
I'm
gonna go
like
out and
the
hurt
complete
someone.
opposite. I can like get mad at a video game, but not like get mad at the people, because I'm just mad at the video game.
Yeah,
And
but then
typically
yeah,
when
you're
I'm
mad at an
frustrated-
inanimate object.
Typically when I'm frustrated, I just work out. Like I hit the heavy bag, I do some bench press, I do some push-ups, do some sit-ups,
Yeah, but like beating the shit out of a punching bag gets your aggression out, so you don't want to beat the shit out of a real person.
Oh no, I do the heavy
Well, let
bag
me-
anyway because I do boxing. So
Can I ask you guys something? All of you. I want all of you to answer, but I think I know your answer. But anyways, if you didn't have video games and you didn't have weightlifting, you didn't have anything, like, are you just gonna go out and shoot people to get rid of your fucking aggression?
Hell
I didn't have
no.
all that. How would I even know how to shoot a gun?
Exactly.
If I didn't
Well,
have
that's
books, I
something-
didn't have movies to tell me the basic ideas of how this is how a gun works. Like I guess
mean,
you could
that's-
say I could talk to my grandpa who did teach me how to shoot like a hunting shotgun, but that's completely different from like an AR-15.
But that's the thing is like all these. That's one thing I wanted to get into is the news articles, the news channels. They make it seem like playing Call of Duty teaches you entirely how to shoot a real weapon.
Exactly.
And-
Dude, I talked with this about one of my friends like years ago, and I mean years ago. I was like 15, not like super long years ago, but I was like 15, 14. And it was the same thing that's happened like the past couple months where something bad happened with a gun and they started blaming video games.
Yeah, there's. I don't remember
It's-
what shooting it was because there's been so many recently. But
I think
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to be talking about the Columbine shooting, and I was going to talk
Probably-
about that too.
Probably.
I don't think it was that. But it was it was some news Twitter tweeted like something along the lines of like, are video games to blame for this mass shooting or something?
Right.
Not even 24 hours after it happened, and it's
Yeah,
like,
dude, for real, come on.
what goes to your head? Like, if you do any research, you'll like figure out like video games do not cause violence, and that's
Yeah,
why
Because
I kind of lose
research is either
respect. for this.
inconclusive or just
Well, the
faulty
weird
at
thing
best.
was, and the APA, the American Psychological Association, did release a study that, or not even a study, they like reviewed all these papers and concluded that there was a link, but then a shit ton of academics, like started criticizing it, and it became this big thing. I don't think there was ever a conclusive.
No, they full
like,
on debunked
ending to
it.
that story. They did. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I did a whole research paper on this in my CBI class. Yeah, they fully debunked that shit. Like, there is no correlation scientifically. About the Columbine shooting, though, this is like the one that people turn to both for proving it wrong and for proving it right. So, like, I'm going to turn to this one. So, obviously, my argument is that they don't influence violence in terms of shooting and shit, or just in general, that video games don't. So the Columbine shooter, people turn to this because he was an avid Call of Duty player. Now, the problem with that is that he also played shit like Dance Dance Revolution even more than he played COD. Like,
Yeah.
all sorts of really like calm. He played fucking that Wii Zoo game more than he played COD. Like, they look at like him having played COD for a short amount of time, which he had been playing since he was a little kid. So like, I mean, I just feel like in all that time, something would have snapped well before that. Like, if
For real.
yeah,
I don't think like our brains are so like crazy. Like, I feel like if you're gonna be violent because of a video game,
you're
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be like
violent
in the
about
immediate
anything.
after effect.
yeah, it wouldn't take that long.
It
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
take
what I'm saying.
years.
Yeah, like, but also if you're that kind of person, anything could have triggered that, not just a video
Mhm.
game. Like,
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. That's the
Yeah.
thing is they always pinpoint it to like video games, but there are so many other things that can like cause it. They don't care about those other things. They
Exactly.
only
They're trying
focus.
to put it on video games because they're losing money.
yeah.
mhm.
They want like mainstream media to come back into the light and be everybody's source for everything, but that's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah,
And I'm even gonna reference Nathan, Drew's cousin, and my former roommate, and say he plays violent video games. That's all he does outside of work. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him not doing a violent video game.
Yeah,
He's experimented
constantly.
with some other ones, but yeah, he has played every Call of Duty.
like
Like,
15
for
plus hours a
hours.
day.
Yeah.
Jeez,
plays
like,
it all
I
the
couldn't even
time.
do that.
Yeah,
I mean, he games as much as I do. He just doesn't stream it all the time.
And he's one of the least aggressive people I know. Like,
He is such a passive person.
yeah, he's not even like confrontational about shit he cares about. Like, and that's not to say that he is like a weak person but he's
He just doesn't want to make trouble.
he's not gonna be a dick about stuff, and he's not gonna be aggressive
Look,
and I definitely wouldn't attribute if he became aggressive, I probably wouldn't attribute video games to it because he's been doing that his whole life, like
yeah,
since well before I ever knew him.
I
And so
I'm just gonna say in his home situation with the person. I'm not even gonna say his relationship to this person, but Maynard knows the person that he currently lives with. If there was ever a reason for any person in the world to become an aggressive person, or like something to trigger it, that would be one. And
Sounds like a bad roommate.
and if that didn't make this guy snap, I don't think anything that could make him mentally snap. Like, I think as a person who plays 15 plus hours of hardcore shooters every day, and has a person he lives with like that, like Nathan does, not you, Nathan, that other Nathan, you know. I think that if that's not proof enough, then I don't know what could be.
Yeah.
Like, you could fucking... In fact, I have. You could walk up to Ray, put, like, a hand that you... Never mind, I'm not going to say that. You could walk up to Ray and smack him in the fucking face as hard as you can, and he would just, like, giggle about it. And just,
Yeah.
like, even if you did it aggressively and you were angry, he would just be like... Are you okay? Why are you mad, dude? He'd be so calm about it. Like,
That's so sweet.
I love Ray, to be honest.
Yeah.
LT, you just went full gay for a second there. I respect it.
I know. That's because it's
Oh my
It's a
god.
that's such a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Like you just
Like,
get smacked across the face by
he-
some dude who's super mad at you. You're like, dude, why are you upset at me?
I genuinely love
Not even
Ray,
trying to
though.
smack him back. That's
Yeah,
great.
you could like punch Ray as hard as you could, and he would genuinely be concerned for you, like about why you're angry or about why you're like sad or something. And that's what I love about that guy. But anyway,
Yeah, dude, if I got smacked across the face, I'd be throwing hands.
yeah, I respect Ray for that though. But no, like I'm just saying that. Yeah, I mean Maynard, that was your whole point, but I just wanted to go a little deeper on it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if that's not enough of proof on this, I don't know what could be.
Yeah,
Well, I think
yeah, real.
we're we all had the same argument on that.
For real.
So
I mean, look at us. We all play video games. We play these kinds of video games our whole lives practically. Like, there's not gonna be a whole lot of difference.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not even like a bias though. I feel like we're not being very biased about it.
no, we're
it's
not.
like
We're not.
that- That's it. It's because it's our lifestyle, dude. Like, once you've lived something for like a long time, you accept it as the norm.
And you know what? Mentally and emotionally, we are all very different people too. Like we all come from very opposite ends of the spectrums, like very opposite upbringings. We all come from a very different like mental state and home situation. Like, and the fact that we can all have the same hobby and all have the same general outcome of not being an aggressive school shooter, like, I think that's proof right there when you can have 5 different people that
Maybe we should have Carl talk about this one.
Stop.
Hey, stop. Carl's not that kind of person. Carl,
I know, I'm joking.
people will joke about it because Carl's so antisocial, but Carl's a sweet guy.
Carl's
when you
great.
get
I love
down to
Carl.
his heart.
Carl's the only one here with a girlfriend, other than Nathan.
He's right.
True. But yeah,
I'm
like
trying.
that.
Not working though.
That's all I have to say on this whole topic. If you guys got anything else,
Nope.
speak now or
I
forever
got
hold your
one.
peace.
I got one little thing, just to highlight the hilarity of how people will just scapegoat video games, no matter what. So you all know the game Dynasty Warriors, right?
No.
Yes.
I forget what happened. It was some kind of violent act that happened. I don't know if it was a gun, if it was just in general like an assault case. But they picked apart this guy's psyche and they said, "Oh, he plays Dynasty Warriors. That's why he was violent."
Yeah, that's the sole reason, dude.
It's just
Exactly.
They'll
be
jump.
nothing.
Exactly.
If they can find that a crazy person played a violent video game, that's the first thing they're gonna jump to.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
it's just a bias these days.
Well, people don't understand how video games work, so they want them out.
Yep.
It's all the old school people. It's never like a.
Like, I'm glad I grew up in a household where my dad had like an Xbox in the basement, and we had a roommate who had like 2 different consoles that we could use. So, like, my family's kind of like, 1 second. They're playing music, and I hate them.
Put him
I have to
down.
put them down.
Yeah. Hit him with your Lich Bane Aatrox. Come on. 1v1 me, mom.
I think that's all he had.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's all I got for sure. All right, moving on. Baynard, I was hoping you'd have a lot to say about this one because I have a lot to say about this one too. And I feel like we could probably make a good half hour of content with this. Ghost reincarnations. Are they ghosts and reincarnations? Are they real? Now, I think also Maynard and I will have pretty different opinions on this, and I'm kind of banking off that because I know that you're super skeptical about shit like this, and I'm a super like open-minded, kind of superstitious sort of person. So like, I think this could ring in for a lot of interesting conversation. But anyway, I'll let someone else start off if they want to, or if not, I can start off.
I'm down if no one else.
Go for it.
All right. Well, I'll start with reincarnation just because that's more of like what I want to start with. But we moved on topics, by the way.
I could see. My brother just had the TV turned up super loud.
Did you hit him? I'm asking for proof of video game violence, actually.
Don't worry, you'll get it in a hot minute.
Did you whack him with a pickaxe?
No.
All that Minecraft, bro. It's getting to your head.
No, what happened was his foot was like in between the chair and like the footrest. So I went to close the footrest and his foot was stuck.
God.
He's fine though.
Nice.
He's a tough boy.
All right,
I said you're a tough boy. Oh my god, now he's deaf.
kill it.
Tell him we're doing a podcast.
If I did, then
to
they'd
show-
tell me. He doesn't care. Dude, if I killed him, then they'd tell me I play video games, and that's why I killed him.
That's true. That's true.
I can't do it.
Well, moving
Alright,
on.
ghost. Time for ghosts.
Reincarnation. So with God damn it, reincarnation. So like, I mean, I don't feel like I'm reincarnated per se, but I feel like it's I don't think everyone's reincarnated or whatever, but like, I feel like it's possible, and why? Okay, it was a kid. I don't have any sources for it, but like,
I think you're gonna reference the same thing I was gonna talk about. Go for it.
I'm pretty. There was a kid who I'm trying to think the best way to word it. Sorry.
The kid who knew where his body was buried.
No.
Oh,
I've
okay,
heard of
we
that.
got different
I've
ones.
heard of that. Hell yeah.
Oh, what? This
I've
is
heard of
pretty
that.
crazy.
No, this is it. Like I'm literally getting like chills because like
Yeah.
this shit's so insane to me, of how insane like the world is, I guess. But there was a kid who he was like 4 years maximum old, and he was telling his parents that his name was something different than what he was born as. Now that in itself is pretty insane to me.
I know this one.
I mean, I obviously can be like, when I'm 4, I can be like, Mommy, my name's Dad, or something.
I can touch on this if you
But,
don't
like,
go in depth, but I know exactly what one you're talking about right now.
But he said they, God damn it, I'm sorry. He was telling them his name, and it turns out that name was the name of like a World War either one or World War II like soldier, and he was like, and he was telling his parents the names of his the people he went to war with.
Yeah.
And they went
that's
and
pretty
looked
crazy.
at. They went and looked, and it's like all the names are exact. It's like I don't
That's
know.
pretty crazy.
Exactly. That's why it's like, and that's another thing I was gonna tie that in with Ghost, cause I don't know, like if they lived in the same area or something, but like kids, I know kids are like
People do say kids have a
Or-
tendency to like see things
they can see things.
Mhm.
They're the way I see it
because they're
personally,
more open-minded, I guess.
that's exactly what they don't have a full understanding for the world, so their minds are completely like open, so they
Yeah.
can see things that like we having an understanding might not be able to. But
Yeah.
I think that's how like people like spirits and ghosts like can get to the children, and maybe like what I was thinking was maybe it was like the ghost of that soldier, like saw it, or like they met, like quote unquote met, and it's like tell your
Please.
parents this so like they know, because maybe it was like the soldiers didn't get like recognition or something. You know what I mean?
Doing the
Like
podcast.
they died in battle. And
I
maybe
think
they
what
didn't.
I don't get about that story is that if my 4-year-old kid or like some 4-year-old kid was telling me that they were actually named something else and they were a World War One vet, I'd probably just be like, "Oh, that's great, dude."
Mhm.
Well,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
get
they'd be
away.
like, "Oh, you're so cute."
I
Making
wouldn't
up
go
little
and look up
names.
that information.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's because he started getting like really in depth with it.
Yeah, I
I
was.
think it's because he
Oh,
wasn't.
The only way I'd be freaked out is if he's like, he'd tell them how they died.
No,
I'm
that's what
pretty
I
sure
was
he
gonna say.
did.
He did. I did an entire research paper on this actually. This specific one, and I covered the other one I was gonna talk about too. So like I was gonna say I can go really in depth with this whole thing.
You just do research papers and everything, don't you?
On CBI, we had to do a lot of those. But
All of mine were on the Beatles, dude.
the guy, the actual Air Force pilot's name, it was in World War II. He died in 1945. His name was James Houston, which the kid also referenced the name multiple times. He said his name was James Houston. He specified how he died, where he died, who his flight members were, all of that stuff. He would have night terrors and wake up screaming about how his plane was crashing and how it just got hit and how it was going down in the water.
Oh my
and
god.
it started off
That's-
and this started when he was 2. When he was 2 years old, when he was barely talking. He would like start crying and screaming, and when he started being able to talk, he would scream about like the plane and stuff. And like they didn't start figuring the shit out fully until he was 4. But this went on for about 2 years, and it would get progressively worse and worse and worse. And then eventually, because of the night terrors and shit, his mom like took him in to get like psychiatric evaluation and shit like that, or whatever the hell. I don't remember exactly what she took him in to get, but they checked him out. And they asked him questions about like, okay, well, what's going, like, tell us the story of all this, like, what's happening in your dreams, like, what's going on. He told them, like, my name is James Houston. I was in Air Force. I was in the Air Force in World War II. My plane got hit and it crashed. And he would tell him all that stuff. And eventually, like, his psychiatrist, like, looked into it or whatever, found out all this shit, and like they actually had like a memorial where they invited all of the World War II vets that were still alive that were on this kid's crew, and he actually ended up like having deep talks with them, and he knew everything about them.
That's nuts.
Yeah, about like they would have deep conversations, and they literally accepted, okay, well, this is James. Like the other World War II vets actually accepted this is James. And they were just having these deep conversations about World War II with a 4-year-old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. There's a video on it too of the kid during his like the memorial or whatever. But that's all I got about that one.
I mean, I guess my extent to like ghost stories and reincarnation things is typical. Like after my grandpa died, like we'd see pennies popping up in places that we didn't think there were pennies. We always attributed it to like, oh, it's a heads up penny in this weird place that's like really out of the way. Obviously, granddad left it here for us. Stuff like that. Or
Okay.
there was like I think my mom had a story where one time she was like up in the middle of the night. She knew everybody else was asleep. She was going to the bathroom and she was walking back up to her room, and there was this toy chest, and she saw like a hand reach out of the toy chest. But
It's creepy.
like that's all I got.
I'm not.
Like I guarantee you, I thought I've heard voices and footsteps in my house before, but like it's an old house, so like creaks and cracks and stuff, so that also could be it.
Yeah. I honestly don't even know. Like, they've been like a childhood. My grandpa, I think it was like a friend of my grandpa's. He died recently, and he like his wife said that they would randomly find like pennies and things like that.
Yeah.
And in places, and so that's kind of weird that multiple people. I've heard that from multiple people now, but so I don't know if that's like a
Because like
Right,
what
but-
we do as a family is like on Veterans Day, because a lot of our extended family we're veterans. We go all out to all the cemeteries they're buried at, and we'll plant flowers. We'll put pennies on the graves. And we'll like reminisce. And like one of the things is like maybe he's just paying us back for all the money we keep giving him.
possibly.
So I got
That's crazy.
I got a little more about that whole situation with the reincarnated World War II vet, just because I remembered something, so I just looked it up. So on top of all that, this goes more in depth of him being a reincarnation. This is actual dialogue, and this was reported. All right, here. Next, little James unnerved his father by telling him, "I knew you would be a good daddy. That's why I picked you." And the dad said, where did you find us?" asked a shaken Bruce. And then here's the quote: "In Hawaii, at a pink hotel on the beach," he replied. Eerily, he described his parents' 5th wedding anniversary 5 weeks before Andrea even got pregnant, saying it was when he chose them to bring him back into the world.
That's nuts, dude.
So my question on that is, did his consciousness like float around in some sort of weird like non-existence for 40 years trying to find the right family, or did it like just kind of zip through time, or what do you think happened
Well,
between
there-
1945?
That's really interesting.
There are a lot of
What was it?
different religions that like cover that. Some of them say that it's 3 months after. Some of them say it's like the second you die is the second that another baby is born, and you're that baby. And then
Well, that's clearly not the case in this one.
and then
Unless
yeah.
you lived 40 years
then-
with somebody else and just forgot all of that.
And then some say that you are reincarnated or you're not reincarnated until you've picked, like, where you want to go or some shit like that, which is, I guess, what this kid's describing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
yeah.
a few theories about that.
Yeah.
I mean, after my grandma died, my cousin was over and she read some like I won't say quote, but it was like someone's how they see the world, I guess, and
Someone's viewpoint of the world.
yeah, and
basically.
what he said was it was like everyone is a spirit, and like they have their own spirit, and it's like the world is like kind of essentially like painted out for us, I guess, and we like kind of see ourselves, and then when we die, our spirit still like stays in the world that we've like kind of created, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of interesting. But then the another thing was like, 'cause I know some religions are like different on how they see like after death and stuff. But
Because like there's heaven, there's hell,
Yeah.
there's all this other stuff.
because I've seen a bunch of, I mean, I've watched a lot of ghost hunting videos, but like there's some that are like if you die not living a full life, I get quote unquote full life, however you want to describe that, I guess. You
Unfinished business, let's say that.
Yeah, you like stay on Earth as like a spirit, I guess. And if you kind of accomplish your goals.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the line on what unfinished business would cause you to? Because what if you're like, oh man, I really got to do the laundry, and you don't do it, and that's the thing that gets you.
Well, I
would say it's like a major life decision that you don't go through with.
Well, what I've heard with this whole theory
or
is
like you die before it.
Is that they
well, then
can,
what constitute major?
It's true.
Ooh, that's different. It is different for everybody.
What I was gonna say is that in this theory, most people will say that it's not like a life decision. Like, you don't get forced to stay like that. You choose to stay like that and get everything like finished with your past life. Like, you choose to finish off everything that you did. And
I
to
feel
make
like
it
being
right.
a ghost is a terribly ineffective way to do that.
I mean, I feel like.
Well, I mean, you're dying, so like.
I mean, it's kind of weird because it seems like there's like two different kinds of ghosts or spirits or whatever. Because there's like the ghosts that kind of make features on like Ghost Adventures, where it's like they're. I mean, there's obviously like the evil ones, but like there's
poltergeists and stuff that fuck with your shit.
Yeah, poltergeists, and then there's just ones that are like around, but like
they don't do anything.
Because there was one episode of Ghost Adventures. I mean, I kind of hate to quote that because it's got controversy, but like there was one that kind of like makes me think a little. Is like this family's daughter died in a car accident, but like they still like they hear things around their house, I guess, and it was on like it was on her birthday or something, and they had one of the devices that like ghosts kind of like talk through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and it
like
was
a radio or something.
Yeah, it like
was it that?
Yeah, like it uses the radio waves to talk to them, and
I forget what that's called.
Spirit box.
Yeah. And it came through as like their daughter, like talking to them.
That's crazy.
I feel like I'm missing a very big part of that, so it doesn't sound as insane as it actually was to me. But like, yeah, I feel like, but yeah, I don't know how much I agree with like the spirits stay around part, but like part of me wants to believe it, but like at the same time I don't know, because my mom was telling a story like around the time my grandma died. She was like how you just kind of get like signs that people are there still, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because like one time she said something like she was in the garden planting, and then all of a sudden she smelled my grandpa's like cologne or whatever, just randomly. And I mean that can be like, it can be explained, you know, but like maybe the neighbor just happened to wear the same cologne, but you know,
it's just
randomly smell it.
Yeah, I feel that. Like
it's one of those things that makes you think. I was also gonna say that, think about it like this: if you had a choice to be reincarnated right away, or to stick around in your old, because like obviously you know what's going on. You know, like, okay, I have a choice to be reincarnated here, but I can also float around as a spirit. But I know what happens in reincarnation generally is that I'm not gonna remember any of this shit. Would you want to give up your past life? Like,
it's
like
hard.
that's the thing.
Hard.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, this guy, I would imagine, probably had a family and shit. Like, he probably wanted to stick around and see how their lives turned out and everything like that before he just completely wiped them out of his entire life. Like,
obviously that didn't happen. Cause
well, no. I would say 40 more years is a very adequate amount of time for him to like see how everyone in his family turns out and everything.
No, I was
But
talking
then he
about
didn't care about
because the kid
their
remembered all the
children?
stuff.
I mean, he couldn't have sat there forever, but like, I don't know. I think
His granddaughter wasn't as important as his daughter.
I think I would have.
Like, she's my granddaughter. Have you met her?
I think I would have liked to. If I were in that spirit realm between, I would like to see how my family and friends turn out and how their lives go and everything.
Well, then you've really got to think about it, because how far are you gonna follow them? Because you could, like, technically, if we're speaking literally here, you could literally follow their entire family lineage for however long you wanted.
True.
Now, could you choose one of their children? Could you choose someone in your family, do you think?
That's what I was gonna say.
That'd be super weird.
Now here's the thing though. Most of the reported reincarnations, like that people report, are of the same family. So I'm saying that if you had a choice to be reincarnated somewhere, you'd want to go with your family, right?
Yeah.
Your current family. So like that makes sense. Like most of them would be going to what their family was before if they had an option. Like, oh hey, my sister's pregnant, or my mom's having another kid, and I can just be another one of my mom's kids. Like that would be weird. You'd be like your own brother. That'd be. But anyway,
Do you think that guy who was reincarnated in a kid watched the kid's parents have sex before deciding on them, and then the kid remembered it?
I don't know. That's awkward. That's awkward to hear about.
He's just not gonna. He's not gonna talk about it, but he's seen it. And
Now,
as a kid, he doesn't.
I know you
comprehend
get down
it,
and
but
dirty.
Now,
He's like, I saw what you did in the bedroom.
he's learning what sex was, and
Oh my god.
he's like, oh,
Why is
that's
your
what
brother
they're
having
doing.
LJ, put him down. Put the little gorilla down, please. No, but the other one I was telling you about has a lot more it has a lot more
I'm
proof
taking
to
care
it.
of this.
Because there is an entire documentary of this kid like showing it. So basically, there was a kid who had a red birthmark. I pulled up the article so I could reference it a little bit. There was a kid who had a red birthmark. He was born with a long red birthmark on his head. As the Druze believe, but it's D-R-U-Z-E, okay? Believe, as some other cultures do, that birthmarks are related to past life deaths. When the boy was old enough to talk, he told his family that he had been killed by a blow to the head with an axe. And basically, the kid, when he was old enough to talk, told them that, and then they were like, they didn't take it seriously until eventually the kid told them where he had been like hit with the axe from, and they were like, wait a minute, he literally has like a huge red birthmark there. Okay, this is creepy. I want to talk to him about it. So they asked him shit, and he was like, he started remembering more shit as he got a little older, and he told them like where he was buried at, where the guy buried him at, and the kid took I don't know why I'm stuttering. The kid took them to a little spot like off the coast in the same town, where he had been buried, and he said, I was buried about 4 months ago. So like, and then they found out that the body that was where that kid pointed them to was buried 4 months ago, hit in the back of the head where that kid's birthmark was with an axe, and there was an axe buried there too.
What the heck?
Why was he old enough to talk and reincarnated from somebody who had died since he was born?
Wait, what?
What?
This kid was clearly more than 4 months old, though.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So how could that guy have been reincarnated in him? Because both of them lived at the same time.
That
No,
goes
they
into
didn't.
the theory.
No. I'm saying that the guy was dead 4 months before the kid was born, is what the kid said.
Oh.
Or, I don't know if the kid said that, or if like they found that out.
It
or
sounded
whatever.
like you were saying that he was buried like 4 months before he took them to...
No.
Did they unbury the body because the kid said that there was a body there and they just decided to dig?
Well, they said that it was a hidden body. It was a murder case. Like, it wasn't like in a grave, like in a cemetery or anything. It was.
I know, but like, did they dig up that spot because the kid said there was a body there?
The kid took them to the specific spot that had. They found the axe, like right next to there, and then the kid was
dropped the murder weapon by the body. What a terrible murder!
No, it was buried there, but they found the axe first, and that was like what made them go like, hey, wait, maybe this kid's like legit onto something. We got to find this body. So then they started looking around there, and they eventually found the body. And there's a whole documentary like with video of this, and they show the corpse of the body too and everything.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
I want to see a dead guy.
Jay, that animal in the background giving me anxiety.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Let's go beat him. Never mind, that's too violent for video games.
I'll say with ghosts and spirits, I've been a ghost, like a paranormal investigator, ghost hunter for like 3-4 years now. And 90% of the time, the stuff we get is pretty explainable, even if it's stuff that's like the things that shows would normally cite as evidence. Like, I hate Ghost Adventures, not because I don't feel like they fake what they're doing. Like, I think they get stuff. They just make it into this huge deal, and I hate watching that shit. Like, they have the recorder, and it's just... And then they're like, "Oh my god, it said its name was Fred."
Yeah.
And, there are some other shows that I can't remember the names of them for the life of me.
Obviously. Joe, I swear to God.
But I'll say that the things that can't be explained are still usually not enough to me to warrant that clearly there's this whole other realm of existence where spirits exist. But there was one thing that I did on an investigation that was really, like, it freaked me the fuck out. We had the spirit box, which it's the thing that scans through like several radio stations, and it just makes this sound if you've ever watched the shows. And we decided that we were going to have another investigator wear it with headphones so that the people asking the questions wouldn't be able to just hear what they want to hear out of it. The person with the headphones was just going to say what they heard aloud. We took the antenna out of it so it wasn't picking up any radio channels, so literally anything that came through was just voice, you know. And we went on this boat. It was called the Bella Louisville, and before that it was called the Avalon. And we were having this long conversation with somebody that, well, we like assumed it was a ghost because that's just what you're supposed to do pretty much. We were asking it, you know, how it died. She gave us a name that my brother had found an article on actually later about a woman who committed suicide with that name.
Yep,
that
I got you.
In the conversation, but the thing that flipped us the fuck out was that she said, this boat has a fake name, and we said, it's called the Bella Louisville, but what are you saying that it should be called? And then it said the Avalon. And the guy who had the headphones didn't know that the boat's name was the Avalon before. He just threw out the word Avalon, and then he picked it up and he was like, "Is that a word? Did I say that right?" And we were like, "Yeah." Like, that was the most interesting thing that I've ever heard. Because like that guy didn't know anything that he was saying. He didn't know what we were asking. He just said shit as it came through the box, and it was direct responses to our questions with information that he didn't know about the boat we were on, and names that we looked up and confirmed later to be real people that had died in that town.
Wow.
Via the causes that the ghost had said. Yeah. Because she said she jumped off a bridge, and the woman that the name that she gave us was a woman who jumped off a bridge that was nearby.
Jeez.
That's crazy, yeah.
I'll say, if anything makes me believe it's that one instance, because that one is definitely the freakiest encounter I've ever had.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just saying, I think this should be our 4-man for the future podcast, because holy shit,
I
we
agree.
have 5 topics compared to the 12 we had before. We've talked for double the amount of time. Oh my god. We have talked for double the amount of time, and we have had so much more like in-depth conversations.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I like this.
Except for the part where my brother decided to be an animal.
Well, he is.
And I missed like half of the conversation.
We'll get next time.
All right, and now for our secret 6th topic.
Wait, is Aiden in the chat?
Ah, sadly no. I'm pissed.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, we're just gonna re-upload it anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the VOD. Okay. Is Smash a dead game? All right.
I'm gonna take to Google for this one.
I'm gonna take to the Twitch thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna do. All right.
Look for the nearest Smash.
Are we talking about Smash Brothers?
Yeah. I am about 5 rows down, and I do not see Smash yet.
I'm seeing the top stream has 427 viewers. And that is for the most popular Smash game that's currently being streamed.
Melee or Smash 4?
Smash Bros.
But there's a different. Like, are we talking like just Super Smash Brothers, or is it Melee? For Wii U?
Super Smash Bros. Yeah, for Wii U.
Yep.
427 is the max.
Yeah, the only time Smash ever gets any kind of like high viewership is during EVO, or like any tournament that's streamed and everybody knows about it.
Now I'm just saying, let's bump over to a relevant game. 44.
Counter-Strike.
I'm just bumping over to Fortnite to start out. 44,000 viewers on the top one, 19,000, almost 20,000 on the second one, and 17,000 on the third one. Okay, there's a relevant game for you. League of Legends.
Another relevant game. EULCS rebroadcast of the EULCS, still at 12,000.
Yeah. It's a rebroadcast. And you already know if Tyler 1 was streaming right now, there'd be a solid 25,000 more.
Oh yeah. Sneaky's up there with 9,000, Scar's up here with 6,000.
I'm just saying, Smash is irrelevant.
Darshan's only got 196? What?
Darshan's kind of
Man, I think Darshan would have more, though.
I feel like as an entertainer, he's probably pretty good. I'm surprised he doesn't have more.
For real, though.
Anyway, that's all I got to say about a secret topic. Smash is irrelevant, confirmed.
Yep.
I don't know about that. I think
the jury's still out for me. I think I'm gonna wait until I see more of the new Smash game to see what's up.
It depends on the community you're looking at, really, because I think people who own Smash will still play it with their friends. And there are still tournaments. In fact, the 2015 EVO tournament was the largest Smash tournament in history. Like, it's only getting bigger than the tournaments.
And they had EVO Japan, and Smash was there too.
Yeah. I think, like...
I don't think that was anywhere near as big as a relevant games tournament, though.
I'm not saying it's like a big relevant game, but if you're looking at, like, stream playing, Smash Bros. Isn't a huge stream type of game anyway. Because if you're looking at streaming games, you're going to be looking a lot at stuff that a single player can hold a lot of time in, you know? Like, Fortnite is a game where the one player is a big deal, and, you know, Overwatch, League of Legends, you're focusing on one person at a time, whereas Smash Bros. Needs 4 people at a time, and it's just really difficult to organize streams like that.
As well as the fact for the competitive scene, there's, like, Smash is the only franchise to ever have more than one of its entries in EVO.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Melee has always been in EVO, and whatever the newest Smash game is has always been at EVO.
Oh, that Wii U one was in 2015? Yeah. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, it's always been Melee and whatever the new one is.
I'm just saying, the biggest Smash tournament of all time, the pot size, their budget was 20,000. Versus Dota, which was biggest? 20 million. Yeah, that's their biggest ever. Versus Dota, which was 20 million.
How do the pros make a living off of that?
They probably don't.
They probably just go to different tournaments like all the time.
So my argument for this is that a relevant game would have a bigger budget than that.
Well, it's mainly because Nintendo didn't intend it to be an esport.
Yeah,
so they're not like supporting it that way.
Well, they aren't. They're trying to now, after they realize that there's money to be made in it.
Yeah, which they should have done years ago.
Well, I think the issue isn't that Super Smash Bros. Is irrelevant, because it is, like, the biggest Nintendo game, I feel like. Aside from maybe
other than
Zelda.
Mario Kart and Zelda.
Yeah, and Mario Kart.
For real.
And Zelda.
But, like, it is a big name. I don't think anybody
and Mortal Kombat
hasn't at least heard
Nintendo,
of it,
right?
you know.
Too, right?
Yes, I think
What?
it started there,
Isn't
maybe, but it's
No,
not
Mortal
anymore
Kombat
if
was
it
Midway.
was.
Oh.
Mm,
Never mind, I'm stupid.
I don't know about Mortal Kombat.
What is Street Fighter from?
Street
Capcom.
Fighter's, yeah.
Capcom? Okay.
And Tekken is from Namco Bandai. There's all your fighting games covered. And there's also Arc System Works, but they do anime fighting games.
And
I think the issue is that
like Dragon Ball
Nintendo itself is not relevant anymore, if anything. Like,
I mean,
Nintendo is
the
so
Switch
small
is
in...
The Switch is like pretty popular.
Yeah, but that's just a
but,
fad
like,
right now. Because it's
well,
a
I
big
mean,
thing.
that's
As well
like
as the
saying
fact there's
that
still more
the
games coming
Xbox
out for
One
the
or
people
the
want.
PS4 is just a fad. I think the thing about Nintendo is that they release their consoles and then, like,
They release their consoles.
What
They
they
release
do,
their
they
games.
don't do
and
anything with esports. Yeah, like Xbox and PS4 have a pro scene, and Nintendo didn't really have that, other than these small tournaments, and that's why
Okay.
you're
I
not
even
seeing
saw ARMS at
like
Evo
a
Japan.
popular
ARMS
bit.
of all games.
But like,
Yeah.
if you look at here, let me pull up a statistic real quick. $2.3 million. Okay, and then
Okay, what you just said, I'm just gonna be like, say something real quick about how like Nintendo is like really, really good at making these single player games and these party games where you can just sit down in your living room and play with your family or yourself.
Mhm.
But like when it comes to this multiplayer stuff, like they didn't have an online ranked mode for Smash until like the most recent one.
so okay, so just in terms of relevancy, in the last couple years, Smash as an all around game, not like individuals. I mean, all around, all the Smash games has summed up to roughly $2.2 million sold in copies. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 in the first 15 days got $1 million. Well, or sorry,
Yeah, but
not $1 billion in sales. Like that is a relevant game versus a dead game. Like
Okay, well,
Okay, but tell me this: which game have you played more recently?
me,
Yeah.
I have played Smash. Whatever was it? What one did Aiden bring over, Dale?
Melee.
I think Melee.
Because
Melee?
he only has Melee.
Yeah, I played Smash
And,
Melee.
I can tell you, and I guess this is a personal experience. I feel like more people right now are going to be more receptive to playing any of the Smash games as opposed to playing like just Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And I guess that's a bad reference point, if anything, because Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is probably one of the better Black Ops Call of Duties in general. But like when you look at games that are like that, like Call of Duty or Halo or anything, you're probably going to find that they have a really big deal over the most recent one. Whereas Smash Bros, like, people will enjoy any of them.
Yeah. Nintendo games are like made to last, dude.
Mm.
They're like you can go back and play those over and over again and still have so much fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I think
also
it's the reason
Nintendo
they have such a dedicated fan base.
Nintendo
Like there may
just
not be a
doesn't
whole lot
sell
of them,
stuff
but
anymore either.
Nintendo's fan base is dedicated, dude.
But yeah, but in terms of dedication, like dedication and popularity are different. So like, if you look at
Well, we're not talking about popularity. We're talking about relevancy, and I think
relevancy
Super Smash Bros.
and
as a
popularity
game.
go hand in hand, though.
I don't know about that.
Not necessarily, because there's a lot of there are a lot of relevance is relative, to put it in like a weird term, because what's relevant to you may not be relevant to other
But we're
people.
talking about to the gaming community.
I
It
think
is
to the gaming
nowhere near as
community,
relevant
something.
as- Like, okay,
But-
if you're looking at brawler games, Smash gets outclassed in relevancy by Street Fighter like by 1,000,000 times,
Okay, but here's the deal.
and it's
Street
outclassed
Fighter's
by
not a
Mortal
brawler.
Kombat.
But
How
those
is
aren't
it not?
brawlers. Those are traditional 2D fighting games with different mechanics and different ways to play the game than Smash Brothers.
Okay, LJ, you are talking as if like that's as minimal of a difference as Dota has with League, and that's like
But-
not being able to classify Dota and League in the same group.
No, but it is a big difference.
I
Look
feel
at
like
how
you're-
they play. I've played Street Fighter before. I've got like almost 24 hours in that game. I can guarantee you that the way it plays is not a factor in how relevant it is. Because I would
And I
still
also
play
feel like-
both.
You're trying to. Your argument kind of seems like somebody saying that Vincent Van Gogh isn't a relevant artist because nobody liked any of his paintings when he painted them. But the deal is that, like, in 100 years, I'll bet you that if somebody has a copy of the original Super Smash Bros., it'll be worth a lot more than the original copy of most popular games today, like Call of Duty or Halo or anything like that.
Yeah, but I'm
Um,
talking about things in its respective game groups. So, like, for example, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, not the same situation as what you just said. Like, Street Fighter probably 1,000,000 times more worth than than Smash is gonna be in 100 years. Like, it's
Smash is such a different type of fighting game than those.
Exactly. It'd be better if compared to Brawlhalla.
okay compared, but Brawlhalla is such like a small game in comparison though. That's not even.
But it's a more fair comparison in terms of design because they both play similarly. It's like you can't play Street Fighter like you can play Smash. You'll just get stuffed and lose every game.
I don't know. I guess I haven't played like them enough to know, but like in the general style of like what they look like to a new player, which is what I am, they look and feel really 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 similar. They feel like the same. They feel as similar as League and Dota do, which is enough for me to say that they're in the same category as a new player. Like,
I can get that.
And that's what we're talking about though, as people who can look at these games, not be just in the general gaming community, maybe not be in depth with these games, but just generally know them. People would generally categorize those as the same kind of fighter games. They wouldn't say that they play the exact same, or maybe they would because they don't know. But as looking at them from just a general gamer perspective, you would look at them the same way you look at League and Dota. Obviously, they're different games. They play differently. They have different mechanics. They have different stuff. They have different ways you can play the game, different builds you can do, obviously. But they are categorized generally the same way that Fortnite and PUBG and DayZ are all in the same general category, or that Rust and Ark are in the same category. Obviously, they are completely different games. But,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got what you're saying. So it's like...
And in terms of relevancy, Rust 100% has always outdone Ark in terms of people finding it a relevant game. Fortnite is stomping the fuck out of PUBG. And
League, too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and League. But we're talking about in their respective categories. League, maybe not in esports, but in general, like streaming and how much people play it. League is stomping the hell out of Dota. And in terms of the brawler games, I'm pretty sure even Dragon Ball FighterZ is stomping the hell out of Smash right now in relevancy to general gamers. Let's look. Okay.
7,000 viewers. Didn't even have to go very far.
And what?
And Twitch.
For what? No, for which one?
Dragon Ball.
So yeah, it's already 100% beating it. Like, and that's just on Twitch, obviously. Like, you can't take Twitch for everything, but the reason
obviously
we're
player
using
count
Twitch
is different too.
The reason we're using Twitch for this is because it's like the biggest. It's the biggest and easiest way to determine who's playing what right now. Like, that's why it's just our point of reference for this. But, I don't know. I think if you look at it, like, it's the same thing with the survival games, the same as the brawler games, or I mean, the same as the arena games, the same as the top-down games like League and Dota. It's getting outclassed by the other games in terms of relevancy that are in its respective category, which makes it irrelevant in comparison. And that is our entire. That's like the entire argument here. Is it relevant in its respective category, or is it just a game in general? The answer is statistically no, it's not. And
I don't know about that, because let me make another comparison for you. In punk music, the Sex Pistols, nobody in the fucking right mind is ever gonna cover a Sex Pistols song, even like a punk band with like the actual punk mentality. And nobody listens to the Sex Pistols because they were the worst fucking band ever. But they are like the embodiment of punk music.
But that doesn't make them currently relevant, though.
They are super relevant if you're like actually talking about like real punk music, because they are like the building blocks of punk music. And while Super Smash Bros. Isn't like one of the first games ever,
and it's definitely not one of the revolutionary ones.
I don't know. I would consider it revolutionary.
I wouldn't consider it it's the same as all the other ones. It's just, and it's not like, and it wasn't played more than any of the other ones.
But it was revolutionary in the sense that it was like it itself is a big deal game because it was a crossover game, and I don't think that crossovers were always as big of a thing as they are now. At least in the time, like 1999, when the first one came out, how many game crossovers were happening at that time? How many game crossovers are happening now? It's really not that much of a thing. So for Nintendo to come in and be like, all right, you know how we're like this huge company, we're going to take all of our shit and put it into one game, I think that was like the MCU of its time. I have to imagine, like
I don't
having
know about
everything
that.
together.
I don't know about
I
that.
mean, the MCU right now is so much bigger because, I mean, it's just so much easier to advertise right now, and people are getting real hyped over comic book stuff.
But that is a very out there comparison to make.
That is probably an exaggerated
The MCU
situation.
is a billion times bigger of a relevant and revolutionary thing.
But
for
the
its respective
idea of
category.
it was the MCU of its time. The like,
I am
let's
here.
let's make everything shared into one.
What are we
event.
talking about now? Because I had to deal with my brother. I missed some stuff.
Same thing.
Okay.
And I
After a
think
quick
whether or
peruse
not-
on after a quick peruse on Twitch, I have discovered that Smash is bringing in more numbers on Twitch than Street Fighter V.
Yeah, but Street Fighter V isn't the main Street Fighter, is it? But either way,
it is.
It is. But either way, I'm not talking about like the most played one. Like right now, we're talking about the most revolutionary one. Street Fighter, 100%. Like, there's no argument there that Street Fighter is not more revolutionary than.
I feel
Smash.
like
But
for its
I think,
particular genre, yes. For
but
the
I thi-
2D fighter, yes.
but I
Absolutely.
But I think that's the big thing, though. I think we're mixing up the words. I think we are crossing the words revolutionary and relevant, and we are kind of making them out to be the same thing. Smash, sure, yeah, it was definitely revolutionary, but currently, is it relevant? Is it what everyone talks about right now? Is it what everyone's playing right now? Is it the big game of its respective
Well,
category?
if that's your definition for relevant, then you're not going to find anything that's like that old unless it's a game like Overwatch or League where you like it updates all the time and is made for long-term playing. I don't think anything's going to be relevant in that context.
That was Aiden's argument, is that it is. That's the whole reason we even started this category, was because of the thing Aiden was talking about earlier.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, I think
for the competitive person, it's still very relevant because you're competitive. You're currently competing for it.
Yeah, but that doesn't
So,
make it not dog
It's a
shit.
completely different mindset.
I mean, I consider it relevant in the gaming community, not in the sense that it is like a huge like pro scene thing, because clearly it doesn't have a huge pro scene. But if you're talking about like long time gamers, there's a good chance that like people who really know, or I don't even want to say really know, people who have like games are a big part of their life, it is rare that somebody hasn't had a really good time playing Smash and that it's not like something that they enjoy. And even if it's not something that is done regularly, the game Smash, its existence is a pretty big deal. And I think that's still talked about today. You know, that game still matters.
Not
even if
not
it's
enough
not-
to call it relevant, though. That's my thing. Like,
I don't know. I think that
if
game
you-
will always be
like,
relevant as long as
I
they're
just-
making new ones.
I mean, I just looked up the definition for relevant. I think we all know it, but I think we all might need a little bit of clarification.
English class time.
Appropriate and large in the current time period or circumstances of the contemporary interest, which 100% is not even close to the category or to what we would consider relevant games right now. Like, in our current time period, it is not even close to what we consider relevant games right now.
Okay, I just looked it up, and it only says appropriate to the current time period or circumstances of contemporary interest. And I think it is appropriate to the current time.
I mean,
Wait, where
I
did
think
you
what
look
we're
this
really
up
missing
at?
here is 1 second.
I looked this up on Yahoo.
I binged it
Jesus
because I'm
Christ.
terrible.
Anyway,
That's my
I
default search engine.
I was about to
Think
say,
what
because
is
I'm just saying, because
Edge.
we got very, very similar diction, but like a couple words off. I'm just saying, that was weird to me.
I think what we're really missing here is the longevity of fighting games in general. If you don't intend to compete, most people don't really stick with a fighting game for more than maybe a month or so because of the skill cap.
Mhm.
So, in such a way, fighting games aren't really going to be as relevant as the next big hit anyway,
Yeah.
because the casual gamer isn't gonna like stick with it because of how hard it is to perform in such a game.
Well, even in competitive games, it's not as relevant as other competitive games, though. Like, even in the respective category of relevant games, it's not. Like,
And that's because of the skill cap. Like, I can maybe name like 3 people who are really, really good at Street Fighter that I can guarantee for sure are pro players. but I can name like 10 in any other game.
Well, what's your argument with that, though? I'm confused.
Like, I'm just saying, within the gaming community as a whole, fighting games are much harder to get into and perform at a decent level at because.
Oh yeah,
so
but we're not
track
talking about their difficulty to get into.
Yeah,
like, their
but
difficulty
that
plays
can
a
play into its
factor.
relevancy.
Yeah, it can, but that doesn't change that like even if that plays into its relevancy, it plays into its relevancy negatively because it's not dragging in more players, which is what in turn would be making it currently relevant. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, you're looking at like the people who are staying and playing, which is not that huge of a community. It's a community, but it's not a gigantic community in comparison to other games. And its fan base loyal, still not like nearly as loyal as plenty of other games that are currently relevant, like, and that have been currently relevant for the last 5 to 10 years. Like, Dale, you haven't talked much on this entire subject, you know that?
I don't have much to say about fighting games. I'm not involved in them at all.
Yeah, but you have stuff to say about relevant games. Like, but whether, like, its comparison to currently relevant games.
I mean, when you're talking about relevancy, fighting games themselves are not nearly as relevant as other games.
It's a very
because
niche
it's such a
category.
niche thing, yeah. Like, if you're playing a fighting game, that's something you're into, and it's not something that just regular gamers might play, like a FPS or even like a MOBA's pretty niche, but it's a lot more people play it than fighting games.
You know what though? I will say that the gaming community has twisted the word relevant up a little bit. And yeah. I will say that I am more looking at how they, like the gaming community, well, I guess I should say how the gaming community in general uses the word is how I've been using it, which is more, for example, Overwatch is considered an irrelevant game right now because there are so many, like, way bigger, more played games right now than Overwatch, and Overwatch's competitive scene is a complete joke right now. It's just completely currently irrelevant. Like, that, for example, is how I'm using the word. Like, and that's how generally the gaming community currently uses the word. And I think we all know that. Like,
well, the way I'm looking at it is, even if all that is true, if a lot of people are talking about that, or if the fact that that's happening is a big deal, I think Overwatch is relevant in just the fact that what's happening to it is noteworthy.
Yeah, but okay, I'll give you that. Sure.
That's how I'm looking at it, because like Smash, the next Smash that's coming out, everybody's like, that's raised a big fucking deal. And while, you know, you look at any individual Smash game, and maybe right now people don't play it a whole lot, but people are aware of the game, and the fact that another Smash is coming out is a big deal, I think would mean that. And I really think if they weren't making another Smash right now, people wouldn't care about Smash. People wouldn't care that, you know, like, what if Nintendo shut down all the GameCube, I don't know what, or not GameCube servers, but like the Wii servers, and we couldn't play, I think Brawl was the Wii game online. I don't think anybody would give any shit about that.
Brawl was the Wii game. Wii U is the most recent one now.
Really quick, I'm sorry, something Nico just said is tilting me a little bit.
Oh god.
Really quick. Nico,
I wouldn't say that.
Nico,
I disagree with Nico.
Nico, look, you see this number? Do you see this number right now? Right? And then, do you see this number?
Oh god, there's a stream delay, so I can't see it yet.
Yeah. Do you see the do you see these? Do you see those numbers?
Where even is Overwatch? Oh, there it is. I found it.
Sea of Thieves is beating Overwatch. Sea of Thieves was actually surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
Although everyone hates on it because it's kind of like that, or No Man's Sky. It's similar enough that everyone started flipping their shit about it, but it's
Nico, you can say competitive all you want. I guarantee you, Pro League of Legends will beat out Pro Overwatch any day.
Oh, and on top of that, hold on.
Well, a pro, like a match in Overwatch League of two popular teams versus a match in LCS of two popular teams. Overwatch completely destroys League, to be honest. Like, its viewers it has a shit ton of viewers.
Oh yeah, but but that doesn't change it from being a joke. Like,
It's still it's a joke.
yeah, like Nico, if you're gonna try to argue that the competitive Overwatch League is not a joke, I can't even listen to you. Like, I can't even take you seriously. The fact that they are not letting players wear glasses, that is actually a joke.
That's literally fixable by just setting up the stage where
Right?
they're not backed up against each other. You can just set them facing each other, and the glare won't even affect anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
What
Overwatch
are
League
your
is like
monkeys saying?
Overwatch League is changing how esports is right now because it's the first league of its kind to have not organizations but like regional teams.
Yeah.
It's shaping the way esports is going to go in the future probably.
100%.
It's unfortunate that that's the title that it's doing it to.
Yeah. That's
I
the
mean-
problem.
It hasn't been played enough. It got turned into an esport at the time when it came out. I mean, I guess you could say the same for League, but League didn't start growing until it was like kind of defined as like a good esport, I guess.
Yeah.
But like Overwatch just kind of jumped the gun kind of early. Once we give it more time, it'll probably be like better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right now, the people who run the league are fucking stupid, and then the people in the league are kind of goofy.
And I'm not gonna lie, the balancing team for Overwatch also a big joke, but we already covered this.
Yeah.
The fact that Junkrat has like even high elo players have been begging for Junkrat nerfs for years, and then they give Junkrat a buff. That's a funny joke. That is a hilarious joke. The fact that you can get 2 hit by a tank that has a pretty decent medium range, that has a gigantic 2000 HP shield, that already has 500 HP, that already has a shield above that over his main HP. By the way, let's not forget the 2-shotting with the hammer thing that can also one-shot you by pinning you with a gigantic hitbox. That also has a completely crushing... I mean, let's just say tanks aren't broken in that game. Sure thing. Sorry, I have problems with Overwatch.
I feel that.
I could complain about so many of the Overwatch heroes for hours. Anyway, anything else about why Smash is irrelevant? Sorry, I just realized we got a little influx of viewers. Now I want to say that in case Aiden's here. Buff, what buff? The last thing they did was to Junker. Are you kidding me? How was that a nerf? How? Explain. Okay, because it does less damage. Okay, obviously you. Ugh. Okay. It does like what 20 less damage with his mines, but he gets 2 of them right off the bat of each other. That I think that I don't think that's a nerf. I think like okay, let's look it up now.
Did he only get one before?
Yeah, he only got 1 before.
That's not a nerf.
Yeah, that's like if Ziggs got
Yeah, you reduce his damage, but you gave him more of the things that he can do damage with. That's not a nerf.
That doesn't mean anything. They said that fucking.
I feel like it's more of a change than a nerf. It's an adjustment.
Well, but here's the thing. They lowered his damage by a very, very small margin. A very small margin. Like, we're talking 15, 20 damage, I think, compared to the over 100 one-shot capability it had before. But the fact that you get 2 of those to throw out, and they're instant abilities with no channel time, that's like if Ziggs got a double ulti and they took his damage down by like 10%. That's like if Ziggs got 2 ultis and then they just took the damage down by like 10%. That is such a buff. I don't understand how you can argue
like making Xerath ult, but it's a Ziggs ult. You can just recast it.
Yeah, and it just does a little less damage. Like that is 100%. Like that's like if Teemo could throw 2 shrooms at a time, but they do slightly less damage and they proc on top of each other. How is that not a nerf? Or how is that not a buff? Sorry, how is that not a buff? In what way is that not a buff?
If it's
He's saying they
buff,
changed
it's
his
at least
range.
an adjustment.
He's saying they nerfed his range too.
They nerfed his. That doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck about that? I was still just sitting in my base yesterday as Junkrat, shooting straight to the center point and getting fucking double kills.
Can confirm I was the viewer. I called him the cleanest Junkrat NNA.
Also, why bitch about Junkrat when Sombra can destroy your ass while you are playing as any character? I can deal with Sombra. Sombra's never been a big deal for me. I bitch about fucking Reinhardt the most. Fucking Reinhardt's ridiculous. That hero's stupid. Anyway, Overwatch is not the topic right now.
We're talking about Smash.
We're not even talking about a topic that's listed on screen.
I think we're just talking.
We're just discussing.
It's a chill time with the boys.
Yeah. I think that's probably the end of the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, sounds about
What's that?
getting there.
I'm ready to play some CS. Oh yeah, Maynard, I'm quitting League.
Oh, okay.
My apologies
Well,
for
Yeah.
not talking about Smash. Yeah, that's what I fucking thought, Nico. It's all your damn fault.
Got him. Got him.
All right, boys. Well, that is going to be the end of the podcast. Final words, guys?
Bye.
Somebody set up me GoFundMe so we can get my own computer so I don't have to do it with my brother anymore. Please.
How about you just get your own place?
Yeah, really.
Cause I get free rent when I go to college from my mom.
Then don't
somebody
go to
set up a
college.
GoFundMe so that I can not have to have a job. Thanks.
That'd be
Right.
cool too.
Someone subscribe to XXDonkeyDillyXX on Twitch with your free month of Twitch Prime. So
Let's be real here. That's the main topic.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, come on now. With quality content daily.
See, I want to
Come on
do it
now.
while you're streaming. The
Okay.
only problem is that I work from when I wake up to when I go to sleep.
You know what, my guy? I'll go stream right now.
You will. You will too.
Oh, I'll do it for that Twitch Prime, buddy.
You will. He's trying to get that money.
I'm trying to get that revenue. No, also, it just makes me happy to see the goal building up. All right, how long has this been going on? We've been live for 2
Over 2
hours,
hours.
16 minutes. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Jesus, what a good podcast this one's been. This is how you know that this is our best team so far. So versus our old team for this, we had only 3 people, but also no one disagreed with each other. Like, I think it's very good, like, when Maynard and I have disagreements because, I mean, for one, we disagree on a lot of things, and we're always, like, cause we've been best friends for so long. Like, it's always really easy for us to just have civilized talks about it. But, like, it's really good that we can have that kind of disagreement, like, have 2 different standpoints on a situation and have a lot of time to talk about it.
It makes for a healthier discussion that way.
It does, and that's good content right there, and it's both sides of the spectrum having input rather than just everyone saying, yeah, we all agree on this, so let's move on.
I mean, unless it's like overwhelmingly.
Oh well, we
Well,
never get aggressive with each other.
Even on the
Oh, no, I
video
was
game
talking about in
violence
terms
thing,
of, like,
we all
agreement.
agreed.
Yeah, we still had good conversations.
Yeah,
I think
we all
this is
agree, but we
definitely
just
our team.
we all had different reasons for agreeing with each other,
True.
which I like.
Mhm. And we had like some personal experiences brought in, which helped
Spice
to
up,
have
spice it up a
conversation
little
that
bit.
yeah,
I like
and we
this
weren't just
team.
talking about stuff that everybody already knew. Yeah.
All right, boys.
Well, boys, it's making an even better podcast in 2 weeks or maybe next week, depending
Yeah,
on what this
boy.
crew wants.
What do you mean?
Hmm?
What do you mean?
Well, with Aiden, he wanted to do it every 2 weeks, but
No.
without him, every week.
Weekly is like that's how you keep your viewers.
To
so
be
that way they know where
completely
you're at.
honest, I would rather this format.
I mean, 100%. I wasn't saying we should keep Aiden. I was saying I didn't know what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, I want this.
All right, weekly. Fuck yeah. See you next week, boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right.